go live. Uh-uh-uh. Mm-mm-mm. Now I check the sound to see if it's all go around. Live. Doing it all the time when we go live. All right, we're good. Good. I'll move the microphone closer to me. Hello. Welcome to the live stream where we do it live. I'm your host, Tony D, and with me, as always, is Little Joan. Little Joan has finally settled down because I fed her some chicken, and that made her happy. Thanks for joining me tonight. Welcome to the Mother's Day edition of Hollywoke Hot Take, where we did already Mother's movies, but you know, we'll do a normal Hollywoke hot take unless you've got some motherly suggestions that I should look into tonight. We'll look at the box office. We'll look at the trades, and we'll chat. But first, about my not so good, terrible week. So all my events got axed. I only had 2 events this week, but I kind of needed them because I only had 2. And one of them, there's a mix-up, and I can't go into all the details. But long story short, it just didn't happen, and I drove all the way down there, or up there. And then on Saturday, I got rained out at LBI. Now I'm doing the LBI one next Sunday, so I might be a little late on the live stream. And that's about it. I spent the rest of the week moving furniture and boxes. So that was my week. It wasn't too bad. I went to a really good restaurant with the family for Mother's Day. It was really good, actually. I had shrimp and potatoes. Not, I thought they would be fried potatoes because the shrimp was fried, but it was real high-end shrimp fry deal. They were good shrimp. Good shrimp. Every once in a while, I like to get shrimp. My normal go-to is chicken parmesan, but since the shrimp were the same price, I went for the shrimp. I thought I'd get something a little different for a change out with the fam. And then my brother, who took us, and he has, he loves going to restaurants like I do, and he found an amazing restaurant local to him that had this dessert that he wanted us all to try, so we all got it. It was this pistachio ice cream with pistachio chocolate on top and a strawberry on the side. It's pretty damn good. Indie Phantom is here. Happy Mother's Day. Mother's Day. Oh, you mothers? Oh, you mothers. Okay. So we can get started here, I think. Who else is here? I think somebody else is lurking. So if you're lurking, say hi. Don't be shy. Let's get into the box office. First up, Mortal Kombat 2 didn't win the weekend. I thought it would. But it is The Devil Wears Prada 2 again at $43 million. It was close. Indie Phantom seems like Mortal Kombat 2 has underperformed. Was hoping it would overtake Prada. I don't know. Let's see how much it cost. I mean, it did not do well in the international box office. It's at $63 million though, with a production budget of $80 million. It doesn't look great because keep in mind they pushed this one back, so it is possible they spent that $40 million on advertising. They could have spent a lot of money on advertising, and they were expecting big things. It feels like a bit of an underperformance, yeah. So, 63 million. We're looking at 31. Yeah, we're about 50 mil shy. Indie Phantom. Billie Eilish has a failed concert movie out there. Yeah, I never thought she had a big enough audience, quite frankly, for a concert movie. A little too early for her to do that, but they're cranking these out. It is cheap to do. That movie should probably make some money unless they spent too much money. Indie Phantom, people thought it was dumb to push it back. I forget when was the original. Was it the original opening near Halloween? That might have been a better time for it since there's so many monsters in it. But Yeah, I don't know. 80 million to make. It needs 120 million. I don't know if that's going to make it. It could. Has a chance, but I kind of doubt it. Anyway, Phantom, first one was released during COVID and put online free day and date. Yeah, that the problem is it really underperformed overseas. I mean, if this thing had done 40 million overseas, we'd already be halfway there. So, next weekend we're looking at another, I guess it would be 30, say 34, so 17 million puts you around 60. Next weekend, another 8 million, let's say, puts you around 68. Weekend after, 72. You add the weeks in between, it gets you over 80. So it's going to be close. Unless this really has legs, which it could. The mainstream press sort of hates it, but the fan base seems to like it. But how many people are really that big fans of Mortal Kombat? And when I say fans, like, I'm kind of a fan of Mortal Kombat. I enjoyed the game, but, like, you know, movie-wise, I can't say I'm a huge fan of the movie franchise, but I do like Carl Urban. I kind of want to see it, but it feels like something I would see on a platform. It's not, you know, some fans are going to go see it in the theaters. It's kind of a summer movie. It feels like the kind of movie probably should have delayed it into the summer a little more. This would be a great movie. One of the things we do down here in South Jersey is we go to the shore every year in the summer. And Mortal Kombat 2 is kind of the perfect movie to hit while you're down the shore, because you could just check out your brain, check out brain-wise on a rainy day down the shore and go see a movie that, you know, it's just stupid, and everybody knows it's going to be stupid. I wonder how well this would do in just regular theaters. I mean, it could be that its fan base kind of already saw it, but I am really shocked at the international numbers here. Maybe it didn't really hit all the international box office yet. Full financials. They changed the website now. Yeah, doesn't really have an international box office section anymore. Let's see. What's the breakdown of the international market for Mortal Kombat 2? See if the AI could give me a little help here. United Kingdom, Mexico, Australia, China, 1.4 million. That is not good for China. They love movies. Indie Phantom, why they move it to open during Mother's Day is bizarre. Yeah, not a lot of moms are going to go see it. Yeah, that must have been why it hit so bad. I haven't seen the first yet. Here, really mixed to negative things. It's, you know, it's a video game movie. The only reason to go see this one really is Carl Urban's in it, and they seem to put some effort into developing Johnny Cage's character beyond just sort of the video game guy. But yeah, maybe that's why. Maybe it'll hit next week. I mean, you look at it this way. Everybody went out to Mother's Day. On Sunday, nobody, or, you know, during the course of the weekend, so nobody went to the movies, and then next weekend it rallies because everybody just said, oh, I'll wait to go see it next weekend. Yeah, it is kind of a dumb movie to release. Whoops. It's kind of a dumb movie to release on Mother's Day. it's not a very motherly movie. Now, The Devil Wears Prada, I could see some mothers who are really big fans of fashion and Meryl Streep and that whole thing. I could see some moms going, "Ooh, take me to the movies and then we'll go out to lunch," you know, on Mother's Day. Indie Phantom, appreciate Prada 2 betrays the original ending as Hathaway now sides with the devil. Figures. Okay. I so don't care about The Devil Wears Prada. I mean, this is the second week and only dropped 44%, so it's got legs. Who cares? But, women like this. It's got tons of fashion. It's got Stanley Tucci as, an effeminate guy acting all catty. Women like this kind of stuff. They're allowed to. I don't care. But it's not for me. So, number 3 is Michael, dropping from number 2. Still one of the biggest biopics. 36.5 million. Indie Phantom, women like this kind of BS. Exactly. Over $500 million for a movie that cost 155. So we're definitely in the money. Money. Michael. I hear good things about Michael. Although again, it feels like a streaming movie. Razor Fist sort of broke it down a bit. They said there's a couple of things left out in the movie that are kind of glaring, but they might address them in the next movie. Jafar apparently does a really good impersonation and nails all the moves and the voice. So I wouldn't mind seeing Michael. I don't think I want to go to the theater for it. I kind of want to see it in a theater. It would be what it would be the perfect movie for? Back in the day when I was in college and we went to go see movies in college, they'd show movies for like $5 somewhere. They would be second run movies from the year before or earlier in the year. That would be a perfect movie to see like that. What do you want, Joan? You going away? Okay. But yeah, I might catch it on the streaming. But I hear good things. I still want to see Project Hail Mary. I'm waiting for that. I think that is finally going to be on streaming soon. I've been so busy with personal stuff. Nothing bad. It's all good. I just been very busy. And then all my stupid events blew up this week, so it was kind of a crazy week. Indie Phantom, Michael was mid. I think you're better just to watch a real Michael concert. It does sort of prove how there aren't pop and rock stars who can compete today. Yeah, I mean, Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft tour. Who cares other than Billie Eilish fans? I mean, 7.5 million. This thing probably made money. I'll go back to Sheep Detectives. Now, it's saying it costed 20 million. I'm shocked that it would cost that much because they tape all these things. It's 20 million worldwide. Needs a 40, 50 million to break even. Should probably do that. But it's probably going to drop like a stone next week here because all her fans saw it. They saw it this weekend. But then again, Mother's Day. Indie Phantom, Billie Eilish. Billie Aisha. Billie Hit Me Hard and Soft by Reality. But I skipped number 4, The Sheep Detectives. This looked like a cute movie. It's Hugh Jackman. And he plays the sheep herder who is killed. He's murdered. And the sheep have to figure out who killed their shepherd. So they avenge his death. It's like based on a book. It looked pretty cute. Did 28 million. It's a 75 million to make. I don't think that's going to make its money. That's too expensive for a kids movie. Although the effects look okay-ish. I mean, you're talking 150, basically 200 million, close to 200 million this thing has to make. There's no way it makes that. But it will be sort of an evergreen movie you could probably show your kids. This movie would have been okay to release on Mother's Day because you could see, moms with young kids on Mother's Day taking their kids, the kids give mom something and then the whole family goes to the movies or something. That seems like, something that could happen. Because, moms like that, right? She loves it when the family goes out and everybody gets along. Everybody had a good time. But it didn't look awful. It looked kind of watchable. It got a bunch of celebrities doing the sheep. That may be why it cost $75 million to do. But it's kind of stupid. I mean, the sheep solved the murder, but it's a kid's thing. Indie Phantom, how's Animal Farm tracking? Sounds like a perfect Mother's Day pork fest. Well, I'd rather see this than Animal Farm, that's for sure. Where is Animal Farm? It's way down at 10. From 6 to 10 in its, what is this, the third week, fourth week? Yeah, it's cooked. It's cooked. What did this thing cost? This thing cost a lot of money, if I recall correctly. What did the new Animal Farm movie cost? Oh no, not too bad. 35 million. Including marketing, they're looking at 60 to 65 million. So, what'd this thing make? $5 million. Yeah, you're done. It's done. It made $600,000. Oh, it's cooked. It's not going overseas. Why would you even send it overseas? I mean, it is animated. I think you could send it overseas, but it did so poorly, maybe it wouldn't bother. $5 million. So that's a $60 million loss at least? No, more. I mean, it'd probably end up doing profit-wise about $5 million. When you add like DVDs and streaming or whatever. But yeah, that's a hot turd. Indie Phantom heard that Angel Studios acquired the movie almost blindly, which explains why they're getting defensive and desperate. F Angel Studios. They should have known better. Indie Phantom Animal Farm should be deported. It's an embarrassment in my view. I think Andy Serkis should be embarrassed. He directed a movie like this, that he took a classic book from literature and thought, oh yeah, let's rewrite this sucker. It's just as arrogant as what Stephen Colbert is going to attempt to do. Almost as arrogant, I'll say. I'll say Stephen Colbert is slightly less arrogant because he's working on basically a sequel to Lord of the Rings, but it sounds woke as F. But at least he's not rewriting the classic. At least he's a fan of the classic. But I have no hope for that movie either. I mean, Colbert has just done so much damage to his credibility. I can't take anything he does as a serious professional anymore. He should just retire. I think he should just retire with his money and go away. But he won't, because he can still make money. I mean, he can still make, probably not millions, but probably hundreds of thousands of dollars. But people like that have to be careful if their career goes away, because their overhead is very high. Let's see what Colbert's net worth is. I would guess he's 40 million. Place your bets. $75 million ain't too shabby. Indie Phantom. I will believe Colbert Lord of the Rings. I will believe it in Colbert Lord of the Rings when the Rey Star Wars movie premieres. Yeah. So 75 million. He had a salary of 15 million. So when you have a salary that high, you gotta spend. You gotta spend, or else you're just gonna lose it to taxes. So now he's not bringing in the 15 million. Next year his taxes are gonna be brutal because he's gonna be paying the taxes on the previous year's salary, and then no new salary coming in. And he didn't get the full salary this year, so maybe it won't be that brutal. And then, what does he do? He's got probably a mansion somewhere. He tapes in New York. Maybe he's got a penthouse, some $8 million penthouse. He's paying God know how many in fees for parking and taxes and all the staff he had. He's going to have to get rid of a bunch of those people. He's going to have to cut back, but he may not want to cut back. He may want to keep his fancy penthouse. I'd downsize if I were him. He's probably got a house in the Hamptons. He's probably got a house in LA. So when he goes to LA, he's got a place to live. I mean, that all adds up, man. Then you're pouring thousands of dollars just in taxes, just to live, just to have your house. This is why taxes are so terrible. Indie Phantom, did his show end yet? No, it ends. I want to say the 22nd. He can't go away soon enough. I know. I'm so sick of him. And really, he'd be doing himself a favor to go away. Like, really what he should do is drop out of public life for like 5 years. Like, drop out hard. Don't do interviews. Just go on vacation for like 5 years. Downsize your life a little bit. And then come back with some kind of project as like an EP, producer, maybe even a director. I mean, he's not an untalented guy. But not Lord of the Rings. Do something like, a comedy show, or, although I think he's kind of ruined his comedy, just do some kind of fictional movie where you're behind the scenes and no one sees you, and then build up a new rep that way. Indie Phantom, need the View to join him in forced retirement. Yeah. Joe Meir Hobbs is here. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Joe Meir Hobbs, to your mom. So, anywho, the Animal Farm movie. I think Andy Serkis, though, he might be cooked. He might have finally pushed his deal to the end, but Clint Miller's here. Hey, guys. Hey, Clint. So we'll see if Andy survives this disaster. He should definitely lie low for a couple of years. Indie Phantom, I like the idea of Colbert just going away. These guys can never go away. I mean, he spent his whole life in show business, essentially. He's not really the kind of actor who would go to Broadway like Rachel Zegler. Like, Rachel Zegler's going to Broadway, where she kind of belongs because she can sing. Indie Phantom, Serkis is a joke as a filmmaker. He shot his loads. Ba-dum-bum. Yeah, I think he should just stop for a while. They'll probably pull the plug on him. I mean, this is kind of what happened to Frank Miller. Frank Miller was doing well, and then he made Sin City, and that was it, man. That was kind of it for his Hollywood career. But, he had come out of comics, so he went back to comics. I don't know what Andy would go back to. And they're still doing another Planet of the Apes movie, and I assume they're going to hire him. I assume just blindly they'll be like, oh yeah, call Andy. We're going to have apes running around. We need him. But he's been in so much. He may survive. He may survive Animal Farm, quite frankly. They may just sort of demote him, right? Give him smaller projects. If they make any. but he at the worst case scenario, he'll go back to England and do stuff for the BBC. I think he directed that Luther movie, which was pretty good. He definitely starred in it. Let's see. After Billie Eilish, you got the Super Mario Galaxy movie dropping from 3 to 6, 6.6 million. This is a beast. So that's did pretty well. Almost at $1 billion. We're like in Oppenheimer territory here. $941 million. It's no way it's going to make another 60, I don't think. So you got 6 million this weekend, 3 million next weekend. So you'll be at 944. Add the week. Maybe you're at 950. Next week, the week after, you might do another 2 million. Probably won't even be that high. Let's be generous, say 2 million, and then the rest of the week be another million. So you limp to like 960 maybe, if you're lucky. I think it's done. It's a shame. But they'll make it on the toys. I'm sure there'll be some kind of video game and plushies and whatnot. Indie Phantom, my favorite ape movie lately was Primate. Also love the sleazy Tanya's Island, where Richard Chennai Tanya's Island. I don't know that one. Is that a movie? Oh, I might have to shut the window. It started to rumble outside. Tanya's Island. Oh, this is an old movie. Tanya and her beau escape to the solitude of a tropical island when a hulking gorilla sets his sights and paws on the lovely Tanya's attention. A bizarre battle for the woman's love ensues between the three desperate island dwellers. That sounds like an 80s movie. Indie Phantom. Krennic competes with an ape. What? Krennic competes with an ape for sex with vanity. Yeah, an old cable fave. Whoa. Crazy. I've never heard of this movie. Tanya's Island. I'm going to shut the window before I get struck by lightning. Hold on. There we go. Don't worry, I shut the curtains. That'll keep me from getting struck by lightning. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can watch Primate. It's too. I feel bad for the monkey, which I know is fake and not real, because he was like a pet, and it sounds kind of tragic and sad, and then he's gonna eat people's faces. I don't know. Indie Phantom, written by uncredited Mick Garris. Next up is Project Hail Mary. Still in theaters. $6 million. Wow. It's been in theaters longer than Mario, and it's doing almost as well. That amazing legs on this movie. 655 million. They're not going to get $1 billion, but it's a good sign. It's a good sign that maybe the studios will finally recognize, hey, if we do original movies, we can make a lot of money too. Indie Phantom, Primate is fun. Love that it's a dude in a suit. Oh, it is? Maybe I'd watch it then. I don't know. Here's a movie I would not watch. Holcomb with Adam Scott. 3.3 million in its second week, dropped 49%. That's not too bad. I mean, it's a, sort of mid-range horror movie. Ooh, it's not doing well overseas, though. 12 million domestic, 1.7 million overseas. It was a $5 million movie. Oh, that's money in the bank. So, see, that's how you make a movie. $5 million. That's what you spend. You can make a movie and still pay everybody for $5 million. When a reclusive novelist, Ohm Baumann, terrible name, retreats to a remote Irish inn to scatter his parents' ashes, the staff tales of an ancient witch haunting the honeymoon suite take hold of his mind. Soon disturbing visions and a shocking disappearance draw him in a nightmarish confrontation with the darkest corners of his past. I mean, it doesn't sound bad, but Adam Scott, he should not have taken that role. Number 9, dropping from 8, is Deep Water, starring Aaron Eckhart, who I was rooting for. Poor Two-Face. He just can't catch a break. It dropped 63%. It's down at $780,000. Brutal. Looks perfectly fine, but it's not doing well at all. Oof. International box office is $21,000. Jesus. 3.6 million. This is the plane that goes down and then the sharks try to eat everybody. No word on the budget, but it's got to be. I would say it's in the $10 to $20 million range. There's Animal Farm at 10, of course, which we already talked about. 663,000. Lee Cronin's The Mummy dropping from 7 to 11, $560,000 in its fourth week. 86 million on a $22 million movie. So this is money, surprisingly. Again, that's pretty cheap for a movie these days. I wouldn't go above 30. I mean, if you're going above 30, you really got to have something, I think. The Drama, which I think made its money. Yeah, 28 million. Made 104 million. Maybe Hollywood has finally gotten the message here. Indie Phantom, I will watch the shark movie because most of those don't even get theatrical. It did, but, just didn't do well. I'm kind of surprised. It looked fine. Ben Kingsley's in it in the beginning. I think he gets killed. The Drama didn't look great, though. I wouldn't see that. Hoppers is at number 13. This movie won't go away. It's 66 days in the cinema. I thought it looked terrible, but that made money, too. So they're making movies that are making money. Number 14, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, the movie Tears of the Azure Sea. It is, of course, a Japanese anime. $121,200. Indie Phantom, Dangerous Animals was one of my fave movies last year. Great Aussie shark and serial killer flick. They combined those two, eh? I remember it coming out. Huh. I have to check that out. That sounds more up my alley. Number 15 is Blue Heron. I think that's another anime thing. Yeah, I'm almost sure. Indie Phantom, I will not watch anime. I just don't care. I mean, a lot of it's not great. A lot of it I don't get. I mean, these titles are killing me. Number 16, Silent Friend. I don't know this movie. Dropped in 2 theaters. Oh, now it's pouring outside. Oh, wait, I left the window open. Hold on. Sorry about that. So, at the heart of a botanical garden in the medieval university town of Marburg stands a majestic ginkgo tree. For over 100 years, it has been the silent witness and observer to subtle and profound changes in the lives of 3 people. Sounds kind of boring. Indie Phantom, yeah, the killer dude uses victims as shark bait. Oh wait, I think I did see the trailer for this. The actors are really funny, actually. Ja Courtney. You, Me, and Tuscany, finally going out of theaters. 55,000, one of the worst premises for a movie I've ever seen. Terrible lead character. Mother Mary, the Anne Hathaway vehicle, $46,000. Blue Film, 31K. What the hell is this? When Fetish Camboy, Aaron Eagle visits a client in exchange for $50,000, he discovers a masked man with a camera and a series of increasingly probing questions. Yeah, I have one. Who the hell wants to see this? But when the man reveals a disturbing connection to Aaron's past, oh, that wasn't disturbing enough? This fetish stuff and a masked man wasn't disturbing enough, huh? Okay. Oh my God, I found something disturbing in the GIMP room. Oh no, everyone. While I was putting on my full leather outfit that goes over my face, I found something disturbing. While I was working for a client as a sex worker, I found something disturbing, everyone. The two drop their personas and gradually reveal their true desires in a seductive thriller being called one of the most daring American films in recent vintage. Now, that doesn't sound good. I mean, I'll give it to you. It's an original screenplay. Sounds kind of degenerate. I mean, Jesus. Europe Kaja, 30K. The Python Hunt. Is this a knockoff of Anaconda? 13K. In an attempt to save the threatened ecosystem, the Florida government hosts an annual competition to remove invasive pythons from the Everglades. For 10 grueling nights, Python Mania overtakes the glades as an eclectic group of amateur hunters contends with unforgiving terrain, aggressive nocturnal creatures, and their own desires and demons that push them into the swamp searching for slithering glory. Doesn't really sound like a movie. It sounds like a reality show. But who knows? And then The Stranger, 11K. And finally, the last one for the road, $6,500 for a grand total of $161,906,240 at the box office. Again, almost all that's in the top 8 movies. Say about 157 million. So, yeah. Need more movies on this list. I know a few movies don't get on the list in time by the time I do this. Usually by Monday, there's at least half a dozen more movies on it. But still, you're not missing a lot from the box office here. This is it. This is what movies have degenerated to. I would go back in the day, a movie like Mortal Kombat 2, I would see that. And even Michael. But it's just not worth, what is it now, $14 for one ticket? Yeah, it's not worth it. Like, Mortal Kombat for me is a $5 movie. $5. That's what I'll give you for Mortal Kombat 2. I'll wait till the price comes down to $5, and then I might watch it. Michael, might give you $5 for it. The rest of these movies, if I see it, I see it. Project Hail Mary, that's the only one that's really worth $14. What's even coming up, says Indie Phantom. I'm hearing little summer hype for anything. Hey, that's a good idea. Well, let's check into coming attractions. Haven't done this in a while. Upcoming releases from the IMDb. All right, May 10th, Labyrinth. What is this? So this opened today? I didn't see it on the list. Oh, it's anime. Disregard. All right, May 15th. We got Obsession. Looks okay. In the Gray. This actually looks okay. This looks like a buddy movie, action comedy with Henry Cavill and Jake Gyllenhaal and some hot chick, Eliza Gonzalez. It looks kind of cool. Guy Ritchie is directing. I would see this. Indie Phantom, are there still second run cinemas in Jersey like cheap movies? There's one here, but too far for me to bother. The only thing you can count kind of as second run movies, we do have the last drive-in theater in New Jersey is the Odysee Drive-In. It's run by hipsters. They tend to show newer movies, but I think they do show a handful of like older movies on certain nights. That's about it. It used to be that, we used to have those kinds of theaters all the time. I don't think they could stay in business because, back in the day, we called them the dollar movies because it cost $1, maybe $2, and you could go see whatever, second run last year's movies in the theaters. And somehow they made money on that. But that was the 80s when something that cost $1, could make you money. Now, you could probably do it for $5, maybe, if you really hyped it. But who the hell wants to see last year's movies? It's not a lot to pick from. Like if you showed classic movies, maybe. There are a few colleges in the area. I'm sure one of them has sort of a second run thing for the students. Indie Phantom, our drive-in theater is a good deal, but I find it too uncomfortable in the car and they end too late. We went, me and my girlfriend went to the Odysee Drive and saw Superman, and it kind of was a terrible experience. The hipsters ran it. So you had to do everything through your phone, which was annoying, including you had to order your snacks through the phone. And then you had to go up to the snack bar, and you were supposed to wait until they gave you a signal, and then you could go to the snack bar and get your food. And it was supposed to be efficient, but it really wasn't. Like, I don't think they needed to digitize the snack order. There just wasn't that many people there. Like, if they had it down to a science, maybe you could have done it that way. But there, in a drive-in theater or in a movie theater, there's not that much food, right? You're not going to cook people a meal. You're going to cook them just something to eat. So, yeah, they got hot dogs and hamburgers. But, it's not like you can't just make a bunch of them and sell them. You might have a handful left over. You can give it to the employees. They take it home, they eat it, or you throw it out or whatever. Normally, you just learn your business and order kind of what you think you'll sell that night. If 100 people come to the show, you're going to sell 60 hot dogs, 20 hamburgers, and a bunch of popcorn and other stuff. Doesn't seem to be rocket science, but they were trying to get it down to the hamburger, I think. As far as the comfort level, it's okay. I didn't mind it. I spend a lot of time in the car. I'm cool with sitting in the car. It's just the sound quality isn't great because you have to, in this case, you had to rent a radio. It used to be you'd tune it in on your car radio, but then you'd have to worry your battery might be dead, or you'd have to keep your car running the whole time, which probably isn't a great idea. So we had to rent a radio so we could hear the movie. I really should have read the instructions before we went, but it wasn't a great night out. we watched Superman, and we're like, okay, the movie's over, let's go. And there was another movie, but we didn't stay. I forget what the other movie was. Indie Phantom, sudden craving for drive-in hot dog and onion rings. In the Gray, I would see, though. It looks like my kind of film, so sign me up. Is God Is. I believe I like this one too. Yeah, this is a weird movie about two sisters trying to get revenge on their fathers. On their father, singular. And one of them got horribly burned when she was a kid. And then their mother is like, I don't know. It's got a lot of symbolism and subtext to it, but it kind of looked cool. Kind of looked like it could work. So maybe. This is all coming out May 15th, by the way. Driver's Ed. This one actually kind of looked good too. The premise is this kid is still in high school, but his girlfriend is older and she's already in college. That title is bad. I agree. That title is bad. So this is a coming of age comedy. So his girlfriend's a college freshman. She's up at college, and he's worried she's, cheating on him. And he kind of wants to seal the deal with his girlfriend to make sure she doesn't stray from him. So he decides he wants to drive to go see his girl. Well, he's taking a driver's ed course with his friends, which he hasn't passed yet, and he in a moment decides to steal the car with his friends in it. So, and just drive to his girlfriend's college to see if she's still in love with him or whatever. So it kind of sounds funny. I think this could work. It's got different, his friends are different characters, and they all seem to have distinctive personalities. So I think this could work. It's directed by one of the Farrelly brothers. So yeah, it looked okay. It looked kind of amusing. So, and it didn't look woke or anything like that. So that's 3 movies in a row, I'd probably say. The Magic Hour. Not sure what this is. Looks like a romance movie. Yeah, drama romance. Mobile Suit Gundam. More anime. Life Hack. This one I don't think I know. Kyle and his friends hack for fun, pranking online scammers. Seeking a bigger thrill, they target a billionaire, Don Hurd, through his daughter, Lindsay's social media, stealing his cryptocurrency. Okay? And then I assume they get into a lot of trouble. Is that a dude in the still there? I think it is. I think that's a dude. But I'm not sure. It sounds okay. Maybe. May 22nd, Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu. Go F yourselves. Not seeing that. I have heard that it's better than the recent stuff, but that's a pretty damn low bar. You got a long way to go to get me back into the theater for Star Wars. Indie Phantom. But will you see those 3 movies in theaters, Tony? I think not. Theater-wise, In the Gray is the only one of those I would see in a theater. The other 2 definitely are platform. And again, I only will go back to the theaters once the theaters are better somehow. But In the Gray, I would kind of see in theaters. Like if me and my girl wanted to see a movie just to get out of the house, that would be one of the movies I pick. But I'd probably have a bad experience and regret it, and it'd be 6 months before I could talk myself into going back. But yeah, normally we watch stuff on a platform. Oh, I missed this one. Stolen Kingdom. That's a documentary. Indie Phantom, Mando and Grogu. I honestly forgot it was coming out. I think it's going to be a disaster, and I won't even see it if it's on streaming for nothing. I mean, I don't want to see this thing. I am done with Star Wars. I'm so pissed off at what they allowed to happen. So, Disney can go F itself. Let it burn. Let it just die. Sorry, I'm getting text. What the? Sorry. Once again, everybody knows I do this every Sunday. What the? Oh my God. Yeah, it's looks pointless. Also on May 22nd, The Passenger that looks good. That looks kind of scary and weird. Kind of reminds me of The Hitcher, that kind of vibe. So that could be good. Although it's a lot more supernatural than The Hitcher, I'll say. I Love Boosters looks woke, stupid, awful. Wouldn't go see it. Wouldn't watch it under any circumstances. Corporate Retreat, I don't know, man. Basically, people go on a corporate retreat and then they kind of have to kill each other. Or it's kind of like a corporate retreat meets like Saw, sort of. You know, it's not my kind of movie. It looks gory and contrived and stupid to me, but we'll see what happens. Saccharin is another body dysmorphia horror movie. I already saw The Substance. It was okay, but I don't want to keep seeing The Substance again and again and again. The Salt Path is a drama with Gillian Anderson. I find Gillian Anderson unpleasant. Jason Isaacs, that's not going to help. I Am Ryan, a comedy. Oh, what's this? No idea what this is. Oh, wait. Maybe I do. A Ryan Reynolds doppelganger. I did see. I have at least read this, but I haven't watched the trailer. A Ryan Reynolds doppelganger and his manager Henry cause chaos in Hollywood, with Henry exploiting the resemblance while his clueless client Brian navigates celebrity events and red carpets. Okay. That kind of sounds funny. I'd be willing to give it a shot. I wouldn't go to theaters for it, but I'd catch this on streaming. I wonder if Ryan Reynolds makes a cameo at the end. That'd be fun. May 29th, Backrooms. I want to see this. And I do want to see this one in theaters. I did watch all the YouTube videos on this. So the idea is very strange. After a therapist patient disappears into a dimension beyond reality, she must venture into the unknown to save him. See, that's not the way they presented it. I don't know if I read that write-up. Man, that kind of switches it around. It kind of makes it more about her than him. The trailer looks like it's about him. But anyhow, the premise of Backrooms is there's this other weird dimension that someone opened up, maybe the government, in an experiment, and it kind of swallows people, and they get lost in there. And sometimes they go crazy, sometimes they die, sometimes they come out in a weird spot and then die. It's very strange. There's weird creatures who live there, and it's like there was a concept in H.P. Lovecraft stories that there was a group of sailors who went to this island, and they opened this door. They got to this weird temple, and the steps were really weird, but they navigated the steps, got up to the door, and there was a seal on the door, and they broke it, and then the door opened, and this horrible monster started coming out. So the sailors tried to run back to their ship, but when they turned around to run, the architecture was so bizarre from the other direction, they fell it into it and became trapped and couldn't navigate the steps back down. And the monster basically ate them all. And that's kind of the idea behind Backrooms. It's like, it looks innocuous, these strange back rooms, but as you go deeper, you get more and more lost in them. And then eventually you can't get out. But it's very subtle. So I kind of like it, but it could also be the sort of project that you it's been going on for a long time. Like, you need a really big answer for the ending. I don't know if it's going to deliver on that, but it's kind of cool. Indie Phantom. Oh yeah, I remember that trailer. Yeah, I feel like there's a bit of a bait and switch going on here, that it'll be more about the therapist than the patient on the right. The therapist is the girl on the left, and the patient, if you can see him, if I'm not totally blocking him, and I'm not, he is the guy I thought was the main character, but feels like that might not be the way, but I'd still see this. It looks interesting. Different. Next up is The Breadwinner. This is a family comedy with a stand-up comic named Nate Bargatze and Mandy Moore as the mom. Looks okay, I guess. It's basically a remake of Mr. Mom, I think. Indie Phantom. Backrooms will probably play at our art house. They get small, odd horror. I would say it. Yeah, I would too. The Breadwinner just looks like... I mean, I'll say that it looks like a normal movie. So he has to take care of the daughters, and Mandy Moore has to make the money, because she invented something and it went on Shark Tank or whatever. So it's that kind of dynamic. I don't think it'll do well, because that kind of dynamic is sort of like back in the 80s, the early 80s, when they did Mr. Mom. It was a big hit. Everybody saw Mr. Mom. Michael Keaton. It was funny. And that was back at a time when most people were in traditional families. Now everybody's in a broken family. Everybody's down on the family, at least, in the media. So, like, I guess it has an appeal to more traditional sensibilities. I'm not sure those people are even going to movies anymore. So, I don't think it'll do well, but Pressure. Oh, this is Brandon Fraser as President Eisenhower. Well, he's not president yet. General Eisenhower. He looks too fat to be General Eisenhower, bottom line. But, I guess it's time for Brendan Fraser to do all the big movies that nobody else could do, because the guys with the gravitas are either dead or too old, and now he's in super actor mode. I'm now fancy actor Brendan Fraser. Remember me from Encino Man? No, I don't do that anymore. I do very big, important movies where I'm a fat guy, or Dwight Eisenhower. So this looks boring, but I it's going to end up on A&E at some point, I think. Indie Phantom. Fraser's non-comeback continues. He also did that Japanese movie where the big comeback will be when he does The Mummy. Then people will go see that, I think. Tuner. This looked interesting. And this marks sort of the return of Dustin Hoffman, who's in it. He's not the main character, but basically he's a piano tuner with a weird sort of ear condition that makes him super sensitive to sound. So he's really good at tuning pianos, but he's also good at cracking safes. And one night he stumbles upon these guys, and they basically use them to crack safes, and so he can make some money. But then, of course, he gets in over his head. So it doesn't look half bad. It looks different. I would see this 100%. I kind of want to wait for the reviews, but I think it'll be good. Let's see. Do we want to go for June? Yeah, let's go for June. June 4th is Toxic, an action crime drama. Oh, that's an Indian action crime drama. I'm sure this will be badass because almost every Hindi movie that comes out is pretty badass, especially the I mean, just look at the name. That's a good name. Toxic. Who's the main character? Yash. Yash is toxic. Well, he's the actor anyway. June 5th, Masters of the Universe. No. It's not going to be good. It was never good. It's a dumb concept. Look. There's only so much you could do with this thing. There's only so many times you could beat this dead horse. Jared Leto's in it. Has everything going against it. Jared Leto is Skeletor. What do you expect to have happen? The only person I feel bad for is Idris Elba, who probably should have said no to this one, but man's got to eat, I guess. Come on. How could this be any good? The only thing that might help this is it's coming out in the sun. I mean, 2 hours and 12 minutes. You mean to tell me you could knock this down to 90 minutes? This nonsense got to go over 2 hours? Come on. This looks like nonsense. Absolute nonsense. You needed 2 hours and 12 minutes to explain He-Man to the audience? Come on. I don't think you need that kind of time. There's no way I'm saying this. At 2 hours and 12 minutes, you're out of your mind. Maybe if you entered me into a marathon that, if you watch the whole movie, you get a steak. Okay, and then I'll watch the movie. But and that'll be tough. It'll be a tough call. I might make it to the end. I might. But come on. Tell me this movie's going to be good? No way. I disbelieve. Same day, June 5th, is Scary Movie. I didn't see the other Scary movies, but as always, I'm very thirsty for a comedy. This might be good. It doesn't look bad. The bits look kind of funny. There's been a lot of horror movies since the last one came out. Plenty of fodder for this kind of film. Unfortunately, I think Indie Phantom, Idris Elba, is in a lot of crap. Remember The Dark Tower? Yeah. He's kind of stuck playing the same roles, right? Like he played Hemdall in Thor, and now he's playing Men-at-Arms. It's basically the same role. Like the assistants to the guy with the big weapon in Valhalla, or in this case, Masters of the Universe. But this movie, I'd see it. I don't know if I'd go to the theater, but it's a kind of movie you should see in the theater, or go with a bunch of your friends. I think it would be fun. Might be a little too rambunctious for me to see in the theater at my age, but I think it could be fun. I'd give it a chance, only because I'm desperate to get comedies back on track. Indie Phantom, I will check out Scary Movie, but not in a hurry. Wait for the streaming. Yeah, that's probably where I'll end up seeing it. Signal 1. I saw the trailer for this, and I believe I liked it. Didn't I? Yeah, it didn't look bad. I don't think it'll be great, because I think it's a bit low budget, but for a low budget, alien flick, it didn't look bad. It's about the nature of the universe. I don't know, I would I would see it, but keep my expectations low. I would see it on a platform, not in the theaters. I don't think it's going to get much distribution. Dennis Quaid is like a millionaire or a billionaire who bankrolls like this exploration of the universe via like, you know, trying to get the signals. So could be okay. Could be. Power Ballad. This is a weird movie because it was billed as a comedy, but it doesn't look funny. But Paul Rudd is in it. And the basic premise is he meets Nick Jonas, who plays a famous singer, and they get together, and foolishly, Paul Rudd's character plays him some of his music, and the dude he's hanging out with steals one of his best songs and turns it into a major hit, and now he's making millions and not acknowledging his new friend. And then it's supposed to be, you know, it's supposed to be a comedy, but it doesn't look very funny. I guess, you know, Paul Rudd is going to try to expose Nick Jonas's theft, which makes me kind of root for Paul Rudd, but it looks a little too serious, the whole thing. So, no, probably not. Caroline. This is a romance movie, kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde thing. I would see this. This feels like a good date movie. And Samara Weaving looks pretty hot. Pretty hot. So it's billed as crime, romance, thriller. It's not going to end well, but none of those situations ever do. The Birthday Party is a drama with William Dafoe. This looks weird. This looks like the kind of movie I would have saw if it was directed by David Lynch, because then it'd be super weird. I don't know how weird it's going to be. It kind of looks pretentious, but who knows? Marcos Timoleon, a wealthy Greek businessman. I don't think William Dafoe looks very Greek. Hosts his daughter's 25th birthday party on a private island. Unforeseen events unfold, jeopardizing his power and challenging his life's foundations. Not sure what any of that means. Another World, animation, action, drama. No idea. A spirit guide in the afterlife realm helps souls reach reincarnation. When he meets a young girl whose anger threatens to turn her into a monster, he must save her while learning about human emotions. Okay. That doesn't sound like a movie I'd see. It sounds like something I'd watch on a Sunday, maybe if it was like on a Cartoon Network or something. Indie Phantom, cool poster for the birthday party. I like Dafoe sometimes. Yeah, he's always good. I don't know. He doesn't seem like he's a Greek businessman, though. Seems a bit of a stretch. June 9th, Sacred Heart, His Reign Has No End. That sounds religious. It's billed as a documentary drama. June 11th, Kimet Year One. Is this another? I think this is another indie Bollywood flick. A father's heart-pounding quest through ancient Egypt's treacherous landscapes reunites him with his son and sparks an epic battle for survival that will shape the destiny of mankind. Well, that actually sounds kind of cool. Indie Phantom. Another World based on the daytime soap? Not. Oh, here we go. Disclosure Day. This, I think, is going to be a big flop. This looks like nothing. But it may be preparation for the various things that have been coming out from the government recently. So the idea is that the government finally announces there are aliens and we've been talking to them, or something like that. So maybe the entire movie will be undermined by more announcements from the Trump administration, which would be kind of hilarious, right? You're Steven Spielberg, you spend all this time making this movie about, aliens, and then the Trump administration swoops in and steals your thunder, and like nobody goes to see this movie. Or they go to see it just to go, oh, that's wrong. We know what the aliens look like now. They don't look like that. They don't do that. Oh, Steven Spielberg. Indie Phantom, trailers for Disclosure Day are bland as F. They sure are. So I don't know why they even did this, but again, they could be sort of laying the groundwork to tell us there are aliens. I don't think a movie like this would help, by the way, because it's a movie. I don't believe movies. I'm not going to say, oh, if you had told me that there were aliens before I saw Disclosure Day, I would have freaked out. But since I saw Disclosure Day, I feel pretty good about the aliens. Yeah, no, I'm still going to freak out. I'm still going to freak out and go, what the F? Going to like barricade the doors and windows and get ready. Get ready for the Martians to come into my home. I don't think this can work. But if you want to read about aliens, make sure you read the Pineys, book 20, Planet Piney, because there's an alien in that. Based on the 1978 incident at McGuire Air Force Base where they shot an alien on the runway. I wonder if the government will release any of that. I would like to hear more. See if my attempt at explaining it was accurate. This movie looks badass. The Furious. A father fights fiercely against ruthless kidnappers to save his abducted daughter. But it's not just about that, because I watched the trailer and did a whole thing on it. He teams up with a guy. This guy, they have his daughter. The other guy, I think they have his wife. So together they team up to take down a bunch of street gangs using kung fu and hammers in one scene. This is a badass scene. He just fights these dudes in an octagon, and the bodies literally start to pile up, and he has to keep stepping on the bodies to get above them to keep the fight going. It's crazy. So I'm totally down for The Furious. This won't be in theaters near me, but I will absolutely see it when it comes out. So it looks bananas. This is my kind of movie. If it is in a theater near me, I would 100% go to the theater to see it. Because this is a movie that looks fun and exciting, as opposed to just about everything else that comes out. Now this movie makes me throw up a little bit inside my own mouth. It's called Stop That Train. Two train stewardesses and best friends switch from a dull railway to the luxurious Glamazonian Express. During a massive storm, they must work with snooty first-class crew and President Gagwell to prevent disaster in LA. There are half the cast is like drag queens, and that seems to be the level of humor. It's like kind of drag queen humor. Indie Phantom, it's going through these because it mostly proves my point that there's nothing hype worthy this summer. I'm looking forward to Cliff Booth flick, but it's really a Netflix movie. Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing here. Oh Horizon, I just looked at. So, This one's kind of interesting. Not going to be a big seller, but this is based on a real thing. Now, when your relative dies, you could put all the information about your relative in an AI, and then the AI will talk to you as if it's your relative. So the idea is this woman misses her father. She goes to the service. They create this AI that will call her on the phone and ask her about her day. And it sounds and acts like her dad. And then, of course, it goes on too long. And then it's about how the AI is messing with her relationships. And then she eventually has to let go. Stop that film, says Indie Phantom. Yeah, if only they'd stop that film. Jinsei, another animation thing. I don't know what this is. A man's journey through life, marked by various names and labels, leads him to an unexpected success while confronting modern social issues, personal struggles along the way. It sounds like you're dancing around the issue. I'll pass. Indie Phantom, like, is Supergirl your friggin' summer tent pole? Good luck, bitches. Apparently. The Tempting Madness. That looks meh. It's a thriller about a woman who loses her memory and did her boyfriend push her off a balcony. Closure. I forget this one. Follows one man journey down a sinister winding path of lies, corruption, and buried secrets inside an isolated, decaying prison. I don't know. Original title, Time of Death. That's a new one. Indie Phantom, is that a prequel to Costner's MIA Horizon movie? Nope. Thank God. Otherwise it'd be 17 hours long. June 16th, it's Diamond Made Man. Action sci-fi. Oh, here you go. Here's a tentpole. June 19th at Toy Story 5. Could be good. I think it's too many movies, quite frankly. We may finally hit maximum saturation for Toy Story. Although I gotta say, Toy Story 4 surprised me. It was pretty damn good. So they might be able to do it again. But I don't know. This movie, Leviticus. So I got blasted in the comments for this because it's basically two teenagers in a gay conversion camp, but one of them gets possessed by like a demon. And so now they got to figure out, like, they got to escape the gay conversion and defeat the demon. So it looks weird. And I've never seen a demon possession movie set in a gay conversion camp, so I thought that was a little different. Whatever happened to Kevin Costner's Horizon? Did he ever release the second one? You know who loved the Horizon movie was Razorfist. He loved it. When I was shocked. I was shocked anybody liked that movie. It was so friggin' long and boring. The Death of Robin Hood, starring Hugh Jackman. That looks awful. It's about how bad and Robin Hood is, and I'm sure it mentions the patriarchy or something. Looks awful. I don't want to see a movie about Robin Hood dying. Sounds terrible. Rose of Nevada. This is a weird movie. The premise is there was this ship called the Rose of Nevada, and it was docked in this little town in this island community, and the people of the community are having a rough time, and they remember the Rose of the Nevada disappeared, and it's kind of a local ghost story. And then these two guys come back from a fishing trip, and they're on a boat, and when the boat redocks, they're getting off the Rose of Nevada, and it's 20 or 30 years earlier, and then they're basically the crew of this doomed ship. And then I guess they go back to sea and disappear. It's weird. It's a weird premise for a film. Indie Phantom. Netflix was supposed to release the Horizon sequels, but think they just forgot to. Even Coster was trying to forget. But like, I think they're already shot. I mean, what he should have done that as a mini series. I mean, come on. You can't release a movie that long. That was brutal. It was just, how long was that thing? That thing went on forever. Yeah, chapter 1. When you call it chapter 1, yeah, 3 hours and a minute. That's 2 movies. That's 2 movies, 100%. So, no. No. No, Kevin Costner. No. Where was I? Oh, right. I'm on the IMDb. Girls Like Girls. Another lesbian thing. Hard pass. Jackass. June 26th. I'll go see that. Best and Last. I won't go to the theater for it because it's got a bunch of their old stuff in it. And it seems like a money grab. And those guys are getting way too old for this. But I will see the Jackass movie eventually. So, sounds like they can't get some of the guys back. I don't think Bam is coming back. Documentary comedy. They tried to get a younger cast in with the last movie. It didn't really work out, or maybe it was 2 movies ago. Didn't really work out. They brought in Eric Andre and a few other morons. There it is, Supergirl, June 26th. That's going to bomb. That's going to bomb bigly. Bigly bomb. And then they'll fire James Gunn. I think they're waiting for this movie to bomb. But there's rumors he might stay on. I would be shocked if he stayed on. I think it would be a dumb move by Warner Brothers. I'd also be equally shocked if they brought back Zack Snyder, who seems to have started this online campaign to get work for himself. Who could direct the DCU? I would have said Indie Phantom. I like Jackass, but that's a home watch. Yeah, especially because they're going to have clips from the old movies. I mean, I'm not paying $14 to see stuff I already saw on TV. Who could direct the DCU at this point? I mean, I would have liked to. I would have picked Jon Favreau, back in the day. Like, I mean, he basically started the MCU. So why they didn't put him in charge of the MCU, I'll never understand. Indie Phantom. Do you think Gunn's second Superman movie even happens? Yes. They're shooting it now. They already start shooting. I think it was too far along in the pipeline, and they know that'll make some money, but they may have cut some of the bells and whistles. Indie Phantom, a Jackass Clips movie, basically. Sounds that way. It'll have some new stuff in it, but yeah, I'm not going to see Steve-O in the portable toilet again. Indie Phantom, Favreau is no bueno now. I know. It sucks. It's like he wasted all this time and energy on a bunch of crap movies no one cares about. So, who could you get? I mean, maybe Guy Ritchie. He would be fun. Could do the slow-mo Superman punching a dude. And you could hear his internal monologue as he's fighting. Who else could you get? You could bring back Rennie Harlan. He was pretty good. You could get Michael Bay. I'd even accept him. Lens flare and Superman? Okay, I can do it. I can dig it. Sure. Get some of the guys from the Mission Impossible movies. They're not bad. what's his face from the Incredibles movie, Brad Bird. He directed one of the Mission Impossible movies, and he must understand comics and superheroes. He did the Incredibles, so. Indie Phantom Favreau walking around holding Grogu is pathetic. It just looks so sad. The whole thing now is just. It seems like it's coming apart at the seams. It's not going to do well. Like, that's going to underperform bigly. It's tracking for the worst Star Wars movie ever. Worse than Solo. That's bad. And Solo was a terrible, terrible movie. The only thing that could save it is word of mouth. Because the word of mouth isn't totally negative. The word of mouth on Solo was almost universally negative. Indie Phantom, get the F1 director? All right, let's take a look at him. He has a flair. All right. Let's see. Joseph Kosinski. See what else he's directed. He's got Miami Vice 85. So that'll be cool. I like it already because he's putting it in the 80s. Spiderhead, didn't see. Top Gun Maverick. Yeah, he'd be an excellent choice. He won't do it, though. Lady Gaga, Hold My Hand? No. Taco Bell, Web of Fries? No. Only the Brave? I mean, his scores on the IMDb are pretty solid. Oblivion? Tron Legacy? Oh my god, I hated that movie. Now I'm not so sure. God, Tron Legacy was a piece of crap. No. He has flair, but I mean, so does Zack Snyder. If they gave him a decent script and he followed it as opposed to whatever he does, I assume ignore it, walk around the set and screw it up. The Get Out action thriller. Who's this? Manco Capac, owner of a club, is robbed and faces threats from cartels. His dream of selling the club and retiring with his girlfriend is jeopardized. A newcomer pretends to be interested in buying the club, adding further complications. That sounds like a foreign movie. Camp. This is a horror movie. That looked not so bueno. Minions and Monsters. That'll do good. July 1st. Young Washington on July 3rd, July 4th weekend. This movie looks really good. If anything that could compete against, it probably won't do that well, but if anything could compete against Michael, I would love it for it to be this movie. Indie Phantom, yeah, I don't want him to kill his career. Miami Vice 85 will be kick-ass. I think it will. Ooh, the guy from Sisu, he could direct it. The action would be badass. But this movie looks really good because this is, early Washington, before the Revolution, and there's all sorts of great stories about him, and it's based on the story where he was a messenger for one of the colonels in the British Army. This all takes place during the time of the British. And the local natives were trying to kill him, and they took shots at him all the time, and they never hit him. They never hit him once. And in fact, one time he showed up to deliver a message, and the colonel noticed, Washington, you have a hole in your uniform. And he looked, and they had shot at him, and the bullet went through his uniform but didn't hit him. And he had gunpowder in his hair where the bullet had almost hit him. And so, Indie Phantom, never heard of Young Washington, but could be fun. I mean, it's probably not going to be a big movie, realistically, but... and then there's the story of an Indian chief who was dying and asked to be brought to Washington. And this was probably after the Revolution, but they brought the Indian chief to him, or brought Washington to him, and said, why did you want to meet me? And the Indian chief said, I wanted to see the man who was protected by the All Father, the Father on high, because after a while I told my braves to stop shooting at you because they were just wasting bullets, and they came to believe that Washington had a supernatural power and couldn't be killed. And I found that fascinating. So I do want to see this. Indie Phantom, very badass story. Great release date. I know, right? So this is going to be great for the July 4th weekend. I'm going to be super busy then. So I won't be able to see it on that weekend, but I might treat myself later. I'm doing... Hamilton's having their 250th America celebration that weekend, so I'm doing an event both days, the 3rd and the 4th. It's going to be that's going to be an amazing weekend. We do things right in Hamilton, blueberry capital of the world. July 10th is Moana. That's going to be a big movie. I mean, I won't go see it, but Dwayne Johnson and the cartoon comes to life, because this is all Disney can do now. But it is no denying that it's going to do gangbusters, because every parent's going to take their kid to that thing. And I believe, they had Moana, what was it, 2? The cartoon. So I assume this will do well, because this is the first one, but it's live action. And then they'll turn around and I guess do the live action version of the movie that just came out, I guess. Indie Phantom sounds better than Supergirl. Yeah, it's a low bar, but sure. Also that weekend, Evil Dead Burn. This looks really gross and really nasty. I kind of can't get past the name. I really can't. Indie Phantom, Moana looks crapola. Yeah. Evil Dead Burn. I just can't get past the name, right? If you're gonna make an Evil Dead movie and Bruce Campbell's not in it, saying wacky things, it's not Evil Dead. So just don't call it that. If they called this anything else, if this called this Zombies from the Grave, I might go, maybe. But I can't get past the name. I can't get past the idea, that Hollywood just thinks it's a great idea. Oh, you have a horror franchise called The Evil Dead? Yeah, we'd like to buy that, please. Okay, we're going to remake this, but it's going to be completely different. It's going to be a horror movie, instead of being horror comedy like the original. Oh, and we're not going to use the actor who's still alive. And we're just going to restart it as a horror movie? Like, it makes no sense to me. Indie Phantom, I will see Evil Dead. It's gruesome. This dude who, and it's all in the trailer, like, this woman opens up a dishwasher and it's got the utensil holder and all the knives and the forks are sticking up. And then later in the trailer, dude trips and falls backwards and lands on it, and then the deadite jumps on top of him and starts pushing him down while he's screaming. Looks nasty. Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. John Hamm. John Hamm shouldn't be in comedies unless he's the straight man. So, I don't know. David Wayne directs it, so it could be very funny. Ken Marino's in it. Kerry, what's her face? I can't think of her name now. Where is she? Thomas Lennon, he's also in it. These are all Joe Truglio. They're all actors from the state. Oh, Michael Ian Black. It's like a whole state reunion. David Wayne was in the state. He's a good director. He directed Role Models. So I would expect this to be pretty good. I hate the name, but I love comedy. Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. It's a bit clunky, but I will say it. The guys from the state are generally good. Michael Ian Black has a bit of TDS. Oh, there it is. Carrie Kenny. Carrie Kenny's also in it. She's good. She's very funny. Richard Kind. John Hamm really shouldn't be in comedies, but again, if he's the straight man, sure. Like if he's the newscaster or something, yeah, sign me up for that. I'll give it a look. I probably won't go to the theaters unless I hear it's amazing. Indie Phantom. The first Evil Dead was horror more than people remember. It's the best one. Tree Assault is still controversial. It's the second Evil Dead that leans into comedy more. I know. But, like, even if it was all, horror, it's not the Evil Dead. Like, it's not. It's a completely different movie. It should have a completely different name, in my opinion. Like, it has nothing to do with the old movies. Like, nothing other than the name. So why not just make a new movie? Why not just say, whatever, Evil from the Grave, whatever you want to say, just give it a different title and move forward. You could still have an evil book. You could still have Deadites. You call them something else. I don't even think they mentioned Deadites in the new movies, do they? Indie Phantom, check out the original Evil Dead poster and King quote. All right. Original Evil Dead poster and Stephen King quote. 1981 poster for Evil Dead features a distressed woman reaching out in terror against a stark blue background, with the film's title emerging from the darkness below. Stephen King's quote describing him the most ferociously original horror film of the year. Okay. See if I can call up the poster on images. Yeah, this one. Yeah, I remember that. Here it is down here. This is like an alternate name for it in Italy. They love their horror movies in Italy, I'll tell you that. I like the original Evil Dead franchise such that it is, but I don't want to see a whole bunch of new movies that have nothing to do with the old movies. If you could tie it in, like you could just tie it in, I guess. And if they show the Necronomicon, I'm just going to laugh. Indie Phantom, I think it's still Book of the Dead without the IP name. Yeah, it's just like, it would be like, I don't know, remaking Night of the Living Dead, right? And which they have done, which they shouldn't. But you remake Night of the Living Dead, but instead of zombies, they're kind of like vampires or cannibals, and then you set the story on somewhat, you set the story on a boat instead of a farmhouse. Like, just call it a different movie. Indie Phantom, love that poster. It's Tree SA. July 17th. Oh, get ready. Get ready for it. It's the Odysee, and we could talk about this, I'm sure, for hours. The Odysee, yeah, I don't think that's going to be a good movie. It looks woke as F. They've smartly kept all the woke, swaps out of the trailers so far. So, but I think the biggest problem with the movie is Matt Damon. Matt Damon just doesn't look like Odysseus to me. Army of Darkness is cool, but lost money not calling it Evil Dead 3. That was probably a dumb move. Um, yeah, Matt Damon to me doesn't look like a regal guy. He's too blue collar. His delivery is very blue collar. It should be haughty and regal. Same thing with the rest of the cast. They're all like coming into it. And by the way, Christopher Nolan is using, according to rumor, the interpretation of the Odysee book by a well-known feminist who did an analysis of it or a rewriting of it or whatever. So it looks like it's going to be like as woke as possible. Woke as possible. Army of Darkness is cool, but lost money not calling it Evil Dead 3. It's kind of the best one, though. I love the Army of Darkness. But that's a shame. I mean, what can I say? I like things that don't make money, I guess. Hold on, I gotta hit the bathroom. I'll be right back. Drank too much, Joan. Joan, entertain the troops. Whew. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, so I don't know what you could do with this Odysee movie. Indie Phantom, the Odysee looks so bad, terrible in my opinion. I don't like Damon, to be honest. Also, Charlize Theron and Ellen Page as Cyclops. I believe Charlize Theron is either Circe or Aphrodite. Ellen Page is going to be... They're saying she's going to be Achilles, which right there should tell you everything you need to know. I think that's going to be a disaster in terms of casting. So they've shown in the trailer a lot of Robert Pattinson and Tom Holland. Tom Holland refers to Odysseus as his dad in very modern parlance, which just does not come across at all. And here's the ironic thing. Tom Holland is British, right? He could have delivered that line like a Brit. He could have said, "Oh, my father will return and destroy you all." Like, he could have done that. But Matt Damon can't do that. Matt Damon. He's not going to do an English accent. He could have maybe gotten away with a half-assed Shakespearean accent, or at least write the dialogue with some of that haughty language, but yeah, it's going to be a disaster. I mean, I could get past Charlize Theron. She's usually pretty hot. Ellen Page, or Elliot Page, or whatever, as Achilles? Come on. This is going to be a summer explosion of non-money. Where the heck was I now? I lose my spot. Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. July 24th, Her Private Hell. I like the title. A hypnotic, unhinged thriller with an original story promising plenty of glamour, sex, and violence. Okay. It's a bit opaque, but I like it so far. Hades Town, a music and musical, not interested. Motor City, doesn't look great. I saw the trailer for this one. It's Alan Ritchson. In 1970s Detroit, John Miller falls for a local gangster's girl. In retaliation, the gangster enacts a frame job to send the innocent man to prison. Life ruined, Miller plots a revenge campaign against the man who took his girl away. It's an okay premise, but Alan Ritchson really just looks like Alan Ritchson in a wig. And then, those are the early days with the character, and then later in the movie he's in prison, he gets out and his head's all shaved, and he just looks like Reacher. So he really needed to change up his looks. Why didn't he give him a mustache in 1970s Detroit? I'll never know. But definitely should have given him a mustache or something, because he just looks like Reacher. And he's doing stuff Reacher would do. He's just getting revenge, getting guys who wronged him. July 31st, Spider-Man Brand New Day. This will be a juggernaut. Here's the summer right here. It's going to be big. It's going to be big. People want to see this. It hasn't been ruined yet. But we'll see. The rumors generally haven't said anything too negative about it. There's a lot of characters in this. The Scorpion's in it. I kind of want to see him. Sadie Sink is in it, probably as Phoenix, and Zendaya's back. Ned is back. Marissa Tomei, of course, died in the previous movie, so we'll see. I think it'll do well. I think it'll be a beast. Because, for some reason, they haven't screwed up Spider-Man yet. And people really like Spider-Man. Now, if this is the movie where they finally go, okay, enough of Spider-Man, it'll still do well. It'll still do $500 million. It'll still make money. But that might be the moment that, Sony goes, okay, let's start winding this down. But if this thing does $1 billion, they're just going to chug ahead with the next 2 films. Tom Holland still looks like the perfect Peter Parker, sounds like the perfect Peter Parker. So, unfortunately, they really ended up adapting a Spider-Man story that they should have left alone. Spider-Man revealing his identity and then needing to sell part of his soul, essentially, in order to get his secret identity back was a dumb story in the comics, but comics do dumb stories all the time, and then they quickly undo them, and everybody forgets about them. When you're talking a movie, you shouldn't go there, in my opinion. Indie Phantom, I didn't know there was a new Spider-Man already. I only saw the first one. Thought the idea of the multiverse was silly. I gotta say, the last movie was really, really good. The character that really redeems himself is the Garfield Spider-Man, because his 2 movies didn't do well, and it was based on the Gwen Stacy storyline. And spoilers, because you probably don't want to see those movies. Gwen Stacy dies in the movie, so like she did in the comics. So the interesting thing about that is Garfield's character kind of goes through a character arc where he gets to redeem himself finally. And then, of course, they bring back some of the Spider-Man villains from the alternate movies. It was really good. I mean, I'm mostly against the multiverse stuff too, but if you do it right, if you do anything right, it's good. So that part of it was fine. It's the part with him having to get his secret identity back. He never should have lost it. And Tobey Maguire comes back for a last hurrah, so that was good. Although the rumor is they may be bringing him back again for another hurrah in Secret Wars. And they may even kill him, which would be awful. If they kill Spider-Man, any one of the Spider-Mans, that would be awful. I don't think fans would like that at all. And that'll be the top of the list of the MCU's crimes. with Doomsday or Secret Wars or whenever it happens. That's the rumor, that they kill off Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, but I don't think they should do it. All the actors love to die in a scene. Tobey Maguire should absolutely not do that. Just like Harrison Ford never should have died in Star Wars. Never should have agreed to it. He wanted to die in Return of the Jedi. He pitched that to George Lucas. But Lucas said no, the whole movie will end on a downer. So he didn't die, which was good, because that would have been a bummer. Yeah, I will see Spider-Man Brand New Day, unless the reviews are just absolutely trashing it. Maybe I would skip it, but I Want Your Sex is a comedy drama. I'm already out of this. Elliot lands a job for Erica Tracy as her sexual muse. Yeah, this sounds stupid and woke-tarded. Going into August, One Night Only. This is a dumb comedy drama too, in my opinion. About a world in which you only have one night to have sex. And so, of course, on that night, everybody gets together and bangs the hell out of each other, because you can only do it one night a year. And it's about two people falling in love that night. Oh, yeah. At least the chick is hot, but you couldn't pay me to see this movie. Looks terrible. Ice Cream Man, horror movie. Eli Roth. I don't see the appeal, but sure. I mean, maybe it'll be good. Eli Roth kind of, I don't know. I hope it's good. I would like to think it's good. It's about an ice cream man who kills people. Super Troopers 3. Yes. This looks good. The second one did not do well. Oh my God, look at the poster. What the hell's going on with the poster? Oh my God, look at the poster. I did not see the movie poster for Super Troopers 3. That's pretty funny. The first movie, of course, were the wacky antics of the troopers in Vermont. The second, and they get caught up in trying to take down these drug kingpins. The second movie, for some reason, they went to Canada and they became Mounties. I forget why. I think because they closed down their station in Vermont. I think at the end of the first movie. But the third one has a really strong premise. The premise is, if you follow the movie, you know who Farva is. He's the fat cop who's really obnoxious. And then Jay, who's the director of the movie. This is all from the guys who are in Broken Lizard. This is an improv group. Jay, the Indian guy, is directing it. So the premise is his sister is in love with Farva, and they're going to get married. And it's made Jay's life a living hell. And it looks funny as F. So, check out the trailer. The trailer's pretty decent. When Farva's over-the-top Indian engagement to Thorny's sister spirals into chaos, the Super Troopers must navigate Thorny's schemes to break up the relationship, all while trying to bring down a pernicious new drug ring. So, Thorny is the name of the Indian guy in the movie, who's also the director, and he's trying to break up his sister Farva during the whole movie, because Farva is just an obnoxious guy. So sign me up. Yes, ho ho ho, yes sir. Watching a lot of reruns of Johnny Carson recently for some reason. August 14th, the end of Oak Street. Action, adventure, mystery. For some reason, Anne Hathaway, Ewan McGregor, and their kids get transported into dinosaur times along with their neighborhood. I don't know who would watch that. Indie Phantom. I like the cheesy ice cream man with Clint Howard. I am in. Is Clint Howard in this one? Wait a minute. Is he in? Or is that another one he was in? No, Ari Millen is the Ice Cream Man this time. Yeah, the end of Oak Street sounds like a J.J. Abrams mystery box movie, so pass. The Brink of War, Jeff Daniels as Reagan. Oh yeah, I remember this trailer now. It's so stupid to cast Jeff Daniels as Reagan, because Jeff Daniels, for those of you who don't know, he's got pretty bad TDS. Like, and he hates Republicans, I think. Just hates them. So for him to actually play a Republican, like he's a reasonable guy, now that Reagan's dead and I guess nobody's around to defend him and his portrayal of him, it just feels like, oh, okay, I'll get you back, Republicans. I'll rewrite history on your guy. It's about the negotiations between us and the Soviet Union back in the 80s. Sounds boring as F, by the way. Paw Patrol, the Dino movie, pass. Six, the musical live, pass. Union County, a drama starring William Poulter, no idea what this is. Assigned to a county-mandated drug court program, Cody Parsons embarks on the tenuous journey towards recovery amidst the opioid epidemic in rural Ohio. Sounds kind of depressing. August 21st. We're just about through the summer here. The Magic Faraway Tree. No bueno. Andrew Garfield's lead. It's just some magical adventure thing with a tree. It's based on some book. It looks terrible to me. Insidious, Out of the Further. Looks like another horror movie. So there's that. Mutiny, action thriller starring Jason Statham. This time he's shooting dudes in the face on a boat. On a boat, everybody. So it's a completely different kind of movie where he shoots dudes in the face, but it's on the boat, see? So that makes it completely different. I will see it. Spa Weekend is a comedy starring Ilsa Fisher and Anna Faris. Did I look at this? I don't remember. Three friends go to a spa weekend that descends into chaos when their train wreck friend joins, leading to hilarious consequences. I guess. I mean, Ilsa Fisher's pretty hot. Maybe she's naked in it. One could hope. One could hope. I'll put a pin in that one. Hotspot, crime drama fantasy. Noomi Rapace. I do love me some Noomi Rapace. She typically picks very good movies. In the late 21st century, an investigator and a member of a feared religious sect are brought together by a murder in a refugee camp. Check it out. Noomi Rapace has been in some great films. She was in the original Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. She's in that movie, The Trip, I told you about last week, which they just remade, and it just bombed because I think they changed it. See The Trip. It's really funny. So, yeah, I'm in. 100%. August 28th, The Dog Stars. That looks okay. Jacob Elordi, Margaret Qualley, Josh Brolin, Allison Janney, what's the name? Guy Pearce. It's a post-apocalyptic world. The virus wipes out humanity. Survivors face roaming scavengers called Reapers. It's a bit derivative, but I'll allow it. Protagonist Hig, a pilot, survived the flu but lost his wife. So, I like dystopian movies. And Josh Brolin is usually great. Guy Pearce is normally great. Jacob Elordi is pretty good. Margaret Qualley is a hot piece. So sure, why not? How bad could it be? Could it be that bad? Coyote versus Acme. I don't like to support anything with John Cena in it. So I will watch this when it's free. But I've heard that it's not awful. But this is a movie they shelved. The Warner Brothers wouldn't release it for some reason. I think there's probably a reason. I strongly suspect. Also, Will Forte's in it. I just don't think he's very funny. Cliffhanger, action adventure. I believe this is the remake of the Sylvester Stallone thing. Yeah, a mountain guide and his daughter alpine climbing business in the Italian Alps face a tragic event, forcing them to confront and overcome adversity as dangerous foes emerge, unleashing chaos. I think this is a remake, isn't it? Is this a remake? Yeah, it's a reboot of the 93 film. 93 film sucked, in my view, but I mean, I laughed through it. It was so bad. But I don't know. I mean, Pierce Bronson is always good. Brosnan. Idiots. Comedy crime thing. Two rock bottom drivers transport a wealthy teen to rehab, but their simple job spirals into a chaotic journey of drugs, danger, and crime as their passenger derails their plans. This looks decent. And it's got Dave Franco in it, who's really sort of taken James Franco's place in the comedy realm now that he's sort of burned out. Indie Phantom, Jacob Elordi, rumored to be the front runner to Bond. He British? I think he is. Let's see. Australian. Close enough. Indie Phantom, Cliffhanger was a great Stallone pick. Rennie Harlan and John Lithgow. Fun action. But I couldn't take it seriously. Or am I thinking of the other one that takes place in the Lincoln Tunnel? Maybe I'm thinking of that one. But yeah, he'd be an okay Bond. But they're going to ruin Bond anyway, so I wouldn't bother to check in on Jacob Elordi unless they bring it back to the Cold War. If they bring it back to the Cold War, potentially all could be forgiven. Because if they bring Bond back to the Cold War, they don't have to deal with the woke idiots who make stupid comments online. They could just say, well, that's where it takes place. In the 60s, where men smoked and drank and banged beautiful women. Then we're all good. Indie Phantom, that's Daylight. Oh, I may be confusing it with Daylight then. Okay. So I'll withdraw my comments on Cliffhanger. I confused the two movies. But I will see Idiots. I will see Idiots. Legend of the White Dragon. Action, adventure, fantasy? Superhero. Uh-oh. In the aftermath, the city was left decimated. A past reminder of a great battle of fallen heroes. This sounds so generic. The heroes were blamed, stripped of their titles, and hunted. Sounds like a foreign movie. Otherwise, yeah, that sounds like a pass. And that's it. That's it. So you can end the summer with Idiots, I say, or Cliffhanger, or Dog Stars. I think Dog Stars would be a good compromise. I think it's going to be good. Cliffhanger, I don't know. Why are you going to reboot Cliffhanger? It's not going to be the Cliffhanger of the past, so I don't know. I don't know. I got to give it up. I got to give up the past and look to the future. I want comedy, damn it. Comedy, comedy, comedy. Let's see if there's any comedies coming up. Let's look in Variety. Dua Lipa files $15 million suit against Samsung for using her face to sell TVs. That seems fair. They shouldn't have done that, if true. Martin Short says daughter Catherine's death has been a nightmare for the family. She fought for a long time with extreme mental health issues. That's a shame. Indie Phantom, not a great looking summer. I gotta say, it sounds better to me than last year. Last year there was nothing. At least there's a couple of movies I want to say. And the box office seems to be doing slightly better. I mean, I wouldn't rate it as a great summer, but Some of those movies look okay. I mean, Spider-Man should rock the house. I think you have at least one major hit every single month. But it could turn on a dime if they, Odyssee's going to hurt them. Odyssee's going to hurt the summer. That's going to be a disaster, I think, now. Sydney Sweeney's Euphoria sex worker is really pissing off OnlyFans models. Oh no. The OnlyFans models are pissed. What will we do? Soon they'll start withholding sex from the people they never have sex with? That doesn't make any sense. Who cares what they think? Indie Phantom, think the issue with comedy is that it doesn't really seem like something to hit theaters for. Good for streaming, but not really big screen appeal. Yeah, comedies don't make a lot of money. Bottom line. Because you can't sell comedies overseas. You could maybe send them to other English-speaking countries if the comedy's kind of like Scary Movie could probably do okay in other markets where the horror movies that they're parodying also went. But even that probably wouldn't do gangbusters. It would probably make half as much overseas because some of the jokes are going to be very America-based. And that's the problem. People in India and Asian countries tend to still they think drag is funny, for instance, and slapstick. Slapstick here tends to not play as well. Depending on the era, but I mean, who knows now? Because there hasn't really been comedies recently, but that comedy Idiots that I described where the two guys are taking a girl to rehab, that's probably not going to, it probably wouldn't do well overseas, even if they sent it there, which they won't do because they know it won't do well. So that's the problem with doing comedies. Indie Phantom, I am enjoying the new Euphoria. There are a lot of nods to showgirls in the strip club stuff. Very funny, dark humor. Really? I had no idea. I've never seen an episode, so I have no idea what it's about. Buffy Infinity, a surreal horror film told entirely through commercials, is a must-watch for midnight? What? I've never heard of this film. A surreal horror film told entirely through commercials. How the hell does that work? Best midnight movies conjure a community experience pleasing audiences who want to see reactions to insanity on screen. While many touchstones of the genre consist of notoriously strange and subversive visions that are primed for indie theaters, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, The Room, the works of David Lynch, the rise of the home video cable, and eventually the darkest corners of the internet recontextualized fandom to include friends who want to introduce each other to increasingly odd stories or simply work best after a bong hit or two. Okay. It's risky to predict a future midnight movie classic, but the Canadian indie Buffet Infinity, seems too strange to fail. Simon Glassman wrote and directed this feature-length story, which consists entirely of local advertisements from a small Alberta town that start off normally, but quickly things feel off. In between familiar-feeling, low-budget ads for lawyers and pawn shops, quirky commercials for a new restaurant called Buffet Infinity start running. Soon enough, local business Jenny's Sandwich Shop starts running ads that take aim at the newcomers' low prices, and their operations seem to be increasingly competitive until a local news reports reveal that Jenny is now missing. Meanwhile, a sinkhole downtown starts growing and a cult leader starts warning about the end of the world, and things progress from there. That sounds kind of cool. I would absolutely see this. Okay. Sure. That sounds pretty badass. Indie Phantom. Oh yeah, Buffet Infinity looks good. It really sounds great. Sydney Sweeney's Euphoria sex. Oh, I read that one. DGA is set to begin negotiations on jobs, AI, and what else? Healthcare. Yeah, keep negotiating, and instead of working on movies. Adolescence claims top honors at BAFTA TV Awards. No surprise there. Tucker Carlson on SNL. He was on SNL. Critiques the Met Gala and slams the Michael movie for ignoring. Oh no, he's not on SNL. It's him talking about SNL. Tucker Carlson on SNL critiques the Met Gala and slams the Michael movie for ignoring the part where he was a white man. Okay. Tucker Carlson is increasingly irrelevant to me. Savannah Guthrie shares mom's Mother's Day tribute to her missing mom, Nancy. We will never be at peace until we find you. I feel so bad for this poor woman. That the sheriff, I think he's going to face a very lot of legal stuff after this is over, if it's ever over. There's just going to come a point where either they're going to find her and then he's going to be sued. The entire department's going to be sued. Because then they're going to find out what the hell happened. Or the opposite, a couple of years from now, they're finally going to give up the ghost and just start suing everybody, I think. Savannah Guthrie's probably got deep pockets. Let's see how deep. $40 million. $50 million. Yeah, she's going to sue the bejeebus out of the Pima County Sheriff's Office. There won't be anything left. She'll own the entire Sheriff's Office. She'll be the sheriff if she wants it. There won't be anything left of that county when she's done. And I don't blame her. How does this even happen? Rita Wilson on her Sound of a Woman album, growing up a musical. Who cares, Rita Wilson? Tom Hanks' wife. Who cares? Team behind Channel 4 documentary Gaza, Doctors Under Attack, hit out at BBC while accepting the BAFTA TV Awards. So that's still going on the left. Still propping up Gaza. It's over. I mean, I think it's over. They're just not going to give it any more attention. And I think that was the whole sort of plan. The plan was to like ramp things up to the point at which you could say, okay, they're all done now. And now they're just moving on. And you can keep trying to keep it alive, but as the years progress, it's just going to fade, I think. Princess Diaries 3 director says fans can look forward to a lot of fun returns from the original cast. We just want to make the story right. That's Anne Hathaway's deal. Her franchise. Don't care. Seth Rogen dedicates the Studio BAFTA TV Award to Catherine O'Hara. She meant so much to all of us. Yeah, that's nice. I still can't stand Seth Rogen, but that's nice. All right, moving on to Fandom Pulse. The complete Firefly Extended Universe, a collector's guide for browncoats going beyond the show. I mean, I like the show well enough, but I'm not that interested. Martha Wells goes to war against AI, but her argument has some problems. So she was the author of the Murderbot Diaries, which I find ironic because she was kind of writing about an AI, and now she's battling the AIs in real life. So, again, I don't think the AIs can write. You know, Grok can kind of give you a friendly response that sounds very personable, but when you get down into the nitty-gritty details of something, it can't really tell you much. It can just regurgitate stuff it finds on the web. And I find that when I go to use Grok, I rarely find anything new. The only thing I'm really doing is sort of confirming some of the research I already did. So I did a little research on Thomas Paine, and I asked the AI a specific question, and I already had in my mind an answer how Paine would answer that question, and that's exactly what the AI gave me. Now I didn't prompt it in any way. I don't think it knew what I was looking for because it was kind of a strange question. You'll see it in book 21 of the Pineys, but yeah, it just confirmed what what I found on my research, you know, and it doesn't read unless it's online. So if it's something from a book that's pretty obscure, I don't think the AI is going to know it. But that'll change. But I still don't think it could write, because writing requires you to put together ideas in interesting ways that the AI just can't do. It just puts it together in the ways either you ask it or in the most logical, efficient sequence. That's it. I use a program to go over my grammar and my sentence structure, but I don't let it write the sentences. I let it flag the sentences. And what I've discovered is a lot of times it's just flagging the sentences to make them shorter. That's it. It's like, well, you don't need these 3 words, but you're changing the flow of the sentence. So, no, I'm not listening to you, computer. So I wouldn't worry too much about AI, but people have a low bar when it comes to books. Some people do anyway. And they are reading a lot of AI book slop or buying it. But a lot of people read a lot of sloppy nonsense anyway. There's plenty of terrible romancy books out there and other garbage that I wouldn't read with a 10-foot pole. And, fanfic and stuff like that. So it's not like the people who read that stuff are going to suddenly turn around and, say, oh my God, my brain is rotting. Their brains were already kind of rotting with the stuff they read. But there are a lot of mostly women online who are constantly looking for new books. 90% of them are looking for new romancy kind of stuff, and a handful of them are looking for anything. That's when I promote the Pineys to them. Indie Phantom, yeah, AI is decent for grammar checking. Yeah, it is. But you also have to check the AI, right? You let the AI flag a sentence, you read it, and then go, nah, that's fine. Screw you. That's the way I want it to sound. The writers that are having breakdowns over this AI stuff, the problem with it is the AI is going to take over the tedious sort of work that writers used to use to live. That's the real problem. It's the same thing with freelance artists. Freelance artists live on creating artwork that people needed, especially advertising artwork. Now you can create a logo in 10 seconds. You could just ask the AI, oh, I need a logo for this, and it'll make a really decent one. Now, you might say, well, that's not very original. It's taken from other sources and whatever. But yeah, the people who are, it's a low bar for that kind of stuff because it's just advertising. It just has to look good enough. Same thing with little write-ups. Like, I used to make money doing write-ups for products and restaurants. It was great little freelance work, and I would put little funny jokes in. They're never going to hire me for that ever again because they'll just get the AI to do it. Because it's so much cheaper. They can get it literally done within minutes. It'll all be done. And then all they have to do is read through it and make sure it makes sense. Now, sometimes it doesn't make sense. The AI screws it up or tries to make a joke that no one understands. But then you could fix those. Just tell the AI to, do it again, fix those. And then it will. So what AI is really taking away is money from freelancers. But it's also creating a whole crop of slop that nobody really wants and are quickly getting tired of. So, for instance, me and my girlfriend were watching Johnny Carson clips, because a friend of hers is utterly obsessed with this clip of Anne Margaret singing braless on The Tonight Show. Highly recommend, by the way. So we watched it, and then there were some other suggested videos, one of which was Johnny Carson's 7 Worst Guests or whatever. So we put that on, and it started to play a little mini documentary. But as we're watching it and listening to it, the documentary, it turned out, was narrated by AI. And you could tell because it mispronounced words every once in a while that any normal person would have pronounced correctly if they sounded like, it sounded like me, right? Like a practiced sort of narrator voice. And there's no way some of the mispronunciations should have been allowed had they either checked it or, had not done AI. I forget what word it was. Oh, I know what it was. It was the AI, instead of saying HIV, it said HIV. And that is an AI mistake, right? I was watching another video, which I think was narrated by AI, and it tried to say the word hoax, but it pronounced it hoax. So you can use it, and it was, again, very repetitive. We turned it off. We didn't even get through the video. We didn't get to the 7 guests that Johnny had that were terrible because the AI was taking forever to get to the point, which I guess is part of the algorithm or whatever. So, big waste of time. And more that's going to happen, and people are just going to say, well, I'm not watching that. And the AI will just not be very popular if you use the AI to do it all. So, I don't think there's a huge problem with AI. What it'll be good for is somebody has a local coffee business and they make a little coffee commercial for their business and put it online and put it on their Facebook post, stuff like that. It's just a tool. Yes, in the old days, somebody would have been have to be hired to do that, but that little coffee shop can't afford to hire a crew to shoot a commercial. Maybe it could afford a guy to shoot something on his phone that's very clever and requires some editing, but it's a coffee shop. They wouldn't be able to afford much. So, Indie Phantom. Yeah, the AI voice pop-ups a lot in list videos. All right. I think that's it for Fandom Pulse. From barrel rolls to chicken legs, Nintendo completely botched Star Fox. I don't know, I don't play it. Everybody's excited for it to come out again. Oh, and this was a big story this week. Ryan Cohen is trying to buy eBay using GameStop, which I don't quite understand because GameStop is worth like, I don't know, like $3 billion or maybe a couple $100 billion or $100 million. But like eBay's worth $16 billion. Like way more. Somehow he's trying to use GameStop to buy eBay, which would be kind of brilliant if it works. I assume he's going to put GameStop up as some kind of collateral to leverage a loan to buy eBay. Then what exactly? I'm not sure, but companies do this all the time. So if he pulls it off, it could be kind of brilliant. Tor Books built the foundation of American science fiction. Now it's launching a romancy imprint, or several. I'm not surprised at all. This is what corporate people do. They see where the money is, and then they say, yes, let's do that. Romancy is selling big. I don't like it. I wouldn't give you 10 cents for Romancy, but it's selling. There are women on X, and again, I'm always promoting the Pineys. Most of them just want romancy stuff, and more romance, more smut, more romance, more smut, all day long. It's a big business. There are romance stores, really they're romancy stores, opening up everywhere. Bookstores have closed, everywhere, but romancy stores are taking over the spaces and coming back, which makes sense because even when bookstores were operational, a lot of the customers were women anyway. And some places would have a big giant section of romance novels, used romance novels, and they were coming in and out, buying them, selling the old ones, buying new ones, reading them, and going, just burning through books. It kept some of the bookstores alive for a while. Now they're going full bore romancy stores where it's very girly. It's the kind of shop you come into, and maybe there's a little coffee bar, and there's little candles and all kinds of girly things to buy, including the books. Or they're high end and they're selling books, for hardcover books, for like 30 or 40 bucks or whatever. Indie Phantom. Romancy stories? Weird. Yeah, it's like romance and fantasy, and usually with a lot of smut. So, like, one of the ones that there's a YouTuber called Shoe on Head, a female YouTuber, who's pretty funny. So she made a video about the romancy phenomenon, and the book she analyzed, well, she didn't analyze the whole book, but she used part of it, was about a woman who falls in love with a minotaur, and the minotaur lives on a weird farm where they have to milk him, if you know what I mean. And then of course she ends up having sex with him. I didn't quite understand the whole bit, but the cover was like this, it looked like a typical romance cover, except the man was like this muscular minotaur. Indie Phantom. We have 2 big bookstores left and a couple of used bookshops that are right beside each other. Let's see, what do we have here? Well, we have the bookstores that I'm in, so I'll mention them first. Words Matter bookstore in Pitman, New Jersey. Then there's Wren's bookstore in Blackwood, New Jersey. They're both independently owned. Wren's has a coffee bar. Words Matter does not, but it's in the middle of Pitman. Then there is Sunrose Books in Ocean City. They carried some of my older stuff. There's a few other bookstores, mostly indie owned. They're really tough to get into. My hardest sells to get an event is in a bookstore, believe it or not. I know, it sounds weird, but there's Second Act Books. They're great. I think they carry my books. They at least let me do signings there. LBI Book Swap, of course, in Beach Haven. Who else am I forgetting? Act 2 Books. Not to be confused with Second Time Books. Is it Second Time Books? I think it's Second Time Books. But Act 2 Books I'm doing in a few weeks. That's the Flemington Book Fair. And they're all around like New Jersey and South Jersey. But we still have Barnes & Noble, right? They're the main ones. And then we have one Books A Million down south. And all those stores won't take me in. They won't let me do a signing because they cannot order the book and they can't return it, was the last thing they told me at Barnes & Noble. Something like that. Like, they would have to be able to order it and they would have to be able to return it, which is always a disaster unless you're under a real quote-unquote book publisher, because the books are returnable, right? They might order 100 books and then return 99 of them if they don't sell. And then, and they get their money back. So that's no bueno, I would say. Indie Phantom. Our bookstores now sell a bunch of other junk like games, candles, etc. Only one comic book store remains. Used to be 2. In my area, we still have one that's pretty close to me, and maybe about a half a dozen in the area. Some have closed down, um, simply because they just really can't. I'm surprised the one near me is still open, but he's kind of last man standing. And a lot of the guys in comics I know have transitioned into being sort of the mobile gypsies that go to various comic book conventions, and they just sell books there and sell them online. So they wheel and deal without a storefront. Um, but and they kind of only end up opening a storefront to get books now, which is sort of the old system. When somebody finally gives up the ghost on their comic book collection, they just want to get rid of everything for some amount of money. They'll take them to one of these stores, and the store will buy, hundreds of comics for pennies on the dollar, and you'll walk away with like maybe a couple $100, and he has to spend the next 2 years sorting and selling them. It's tough to run a comic book store. You have to really love it. It's tough to run a bookstore too, which is why a lot of them turn into coffee bars. There was one really great one in Philly, comic book store wise. I thought it was a great concept. It was called like Capes and Coffee, and so it was a big coffee bar in the front, which that was their main deal, and then the comic books were in the back. So I thought maybe they could survive because they had a really nice space. But yeah, they finally closed up. Indie Phantom, our last video rental stores, all closed in 2016. There's a rumor they're bringing back Blockbuster, I guess for nostalgia, and maybe for the, if you could make the price point right and serve pizza, I think you could make a rental place work again. But a lot of people don't have a DVD player or a Blu-ray player anymore. But then again, you can put it in your computer if you have the disc drive, or in your video game if you have that. So I don't know. I think it could work under the right circumstances in certain areas. I think if you partnered with a pizza place, you could really make it work. But Indie Phantom, there was a good Matt Walsh video recently on the death of rock music, which crosses over with other dying media. He hates anime too, by the way, if you didn't know. Hollywood reporter, AI is becoming all too real on TV. Again, I think the celebrities burn most of their credibility on telling everybody to take a certain medical procedure and just being generally political and annoying. Now nobody cares about them. I don't think there are too many people who care, even if all the celebrities lose all their jobs. And there are actors who are losing their jobs. Actors you would kind of recognize, character actors. Some of them are just giving up the ghost and saying, I can't make any money anymore. And that's going to become more and more the case, especially with like character actors, because they'll be the first guys they'll replace the extras with AI. There was already a technology to do that, by the way, even before AI. And then eventually, you'll get short bursts of consistent AI that'll be consistent enough to cut into a movie. In fact, I cut myself into a little ditty on my channel, if you didn't see it, where I play Hemingway, and I shoot one of the mutant deer in the Pine Barrens. So check that out if you get a chance. Indie Phantom, we had an awesome rental store with pizza back in the mid-90s, but it closed in a year. Even then, really? I would think that would be a gangbuster idea. Maybe their pizza sucked. I love Walsh on anime. Mark Ruffalo should lose jobs. Well, Ruffalo is really insufferable, but he is a really good actor when you get right down to it. And the AI can't act either. Like, it can probably get away with doing certain things. Short burst, I think it could work. But I don't think it could really give you a performance. And I've tried to use it. It's very inconsistent from scene to scene. As soon as, like, I tried scanning in, the covers of the Pineys, and as soon as a character moves, the head changes, the face changes, the expressions don't look right a lot of times. It's really tough. For all the work you do with AI to try to get something to look good right now, you probably could have just went out and shot a scene. Writers Guild West staff strike officially over. Union ratifies first contract agreement. I don't know how these guys are going to survive. I honestly don't. I think the studio shouldn't use AI to write anything, but they're going to try it, so. Indie Phantom, their pizza was amazing, but nobody wanted inside a video store for pizza. Was cheap pepperoni, but was great. Too much competition. Oh. This SNL breakout kissed Harry Styles. How will he top that? And there you go. Okay, you can have SNL now. It's yours. Take it. Take it. Not interested in seeing that. Wuthering Heights DP Linus Sandgren talks VistaVision's revival and its future with IMAX. I just saw about, I'll say 20% of Wuthering Heights, because my girlfriend was watching it and I was making videos, and eventually I got done and I sat down and started talking to her while she was watching the movie. But she doesn't, it didn't matter to her because she wasn't really into the movie. It was pretty bad. That Wuthering Heights movie was pretty damn bad. Indie Phantom, I could use a slice of pizza. Yeah, me too now. Thanks for that. I love pizza. I love pizza so much. Yeah, now I really want pizza. Just thinking about the gooey cheese and a delicious crust. That'd be great. 2 slices even. I could down 2 right now. It's 9:36. I'd eat 2 slices of pizza right now, no problem. Wonder where I could get pizza this late. I don't even know. Right around 9 or 10 on a Sunday, it's tough to find pizza. I'm not going to Domino's. You damn crazy if you think I'm going to Domino's or Papa John's or any place like that. I'd have to find a mom and pop place. Most of them are closed now. Indie Phantom, that movie looks sad. It's it's sad, but it's also ridiculous. It's another movie where they pour modern sensibilities into it. So part of the movie is Heathcliff, who's Jacob Elordi, is in love with Margot Robbie's character, who's married to another man. But then to spite her, he marries her friend or her sister or something, and then treats her really, really bad, and then even puts her in a dog collar, which isn't in the book. Like, it's supposed to take place in Victorian England. There was a bunch of race swaps, so they had an Asian actress play the the mistress, who was like the head of the household, not the head servant lady, I guess. Didn't seem to make any sense whatsoever. There was a lot of grandiose set design and costuming I didn't like. Indie Phantom, by sad, I meant bad. Yeah. It was hard to take seriously, and it was supposed to be super serious when she was dying at the end. And speaking of bad movies, War of the Worlds with Ice Cube, remember that? The producer defended Ice Cube's film after disastrous reviews. That movie looked god awful. I mean, it literally looked like you'd be watching a guy sit at his computer for 90 minutes. Who the hell wants to see that? No way. No way that works. Let's see. Is there anything else? No. Here's the GameStop CEO trying to buy eBay. Wit Studio unveils episode count and release date for Netflix One Piece anime reboot, The One Piece. Indie Phantom, I had to read Wuthering Heights in high school. Don't think I made it through. Yeah, it's a classic, but it's not even that good at in terms of classic, just boring drama stuff. All right, Deadline. Here's more on Silent Friend. Talking to Trees. More on Gaza Doctors Under Attack. More on Martin Short. More on BAFTA and Adolescence. So the UK is promoting that. Adolescence was the movie that attacks toxic masculinity in the UK. It's all an allegory where some British kid attacks a girl. Meanwhile, there's been plenty of attacks on girls in the UK by certain other people that they don't seem to portray in movies as attacking girls. Indie Phantom, I wanted to buy eBay, but they refused my offer. What did you offer them? Oh, this week, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni feud finally ended. They settled out of court, and Blake Lively got $0. Zero. Now, there's still some other elements that they're going to address in legal machinations, so there might be some money exchanged, but I would chalk that up as a huge win for Justin Baldoni. I don't think there's any other way to interpret that other than Blake Lively lost. Indie Phantom, UK had a great election result. Watched the Lotus Eaters. I did watch some of that. They're very happy. That's the happiest I've seen them in a long time. And bravo to the guys. Now, Reform won. They're big proponents of Restore Britain, which is a different party. They are, however, winning as well, but they didn't run as many candidates. But they're going to be the growing party that will eventually supplant the Reformist or the other parties and then take over, is the goal. And that seems to be going well. So bravo, congrats to the Lotus Eaters and the UK for pushing back on the woke tards. So finally, they might at least stop taking in illegal immigrants. That's what they could do. That's the first step is what Trump did here, which is secure the border. You can't start deporting people and then just have them come right back. That doesn't make any sense. You have to first stop them at the border and secure the borders. So that's the first thing the Brits have to do. They have to secure the border and make sure no one comes across that channel without permission. Indie Phantom, Akkad had a hilarious videos on the meltdowns, which I enjoyed bigly. I saw them as well. And I just watched one with Asmongold watching more meltdowns as well. And yeah, it's funny. The funniest one to me was a woman who left America to escape MAGA, then got to the UK and then Reform won, and she thinks that's MAGA and that she moved for nothing. To which I say, ha 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 ha. These people cannot function in a society where anybody disagrees with them. I mean, they're just beyond some of them. In their defense, their brains have been cooked. Their brains have been cooked, and I feel bad for them because I have some relatives I feel their brains are cooked to a certain extent, and I wish they weren't, but there's really no other way to interpret it. And you cannot talk politics with them anymore. You absolutely cannot. And I don't think you should in, as they say, mixed company. You should stay away from politics and religion because it just causes a bunch of divisiveness, especially if you don't agree. So, it's you got to just set that stuff aside, and thankfully my family and friends mostly do. I don't think I have any family or friends that resent me for my politics, thank God. I mean, they don't agree with me. Indie Phantom, I saw that woman. They are unsavable. Yeah, when you have someone who picks up their entire life and moves it to another country over politics, that's an unstable person, in my opinion. That's a person who needs therapy, who needs to have a therapist work with them to not get so emotionally wrapped up in the events of the world. You can't. I mean, look, the gas prices are killing me. I mean, they are absolutely killing. I don't know what gas is near you. Let me check it. Hopefully it's going down because there's been some movement on the Iranian front, but man, the gas prices are just hammering me. I'm pouring all my money into my gas tank again, and it sucks. But, I mean, what are you going to do? Oh, it did go down a little. It went down 10 cents, so that's good. $4.37. Indie Phantom, cooked relative brains are real. It's a shame. And the really sad part is that's an indication that it'll never stop for them. Because there'll always be another crisis on the horizon because of the media they watch. That's the only reason they're so cooked. It's not an age thing. I used to think it was an age thing. It's like young people, they get indoctrinated, then they get caught up in it. No. Some of them, even at that age, just eventually burn out on it, or they say, oh, this is all BS. But they have people whose they just jump from one crisis to the next, like the meme about the MPC chip. The brain pan opens up, they take out the old chip and they put on the new chip, and that's what they're angry about this week. Indie Phantom, our gas is bad, but I rarely take the car out unless I'm getting groceries. Well, I used to be like that, but now that I do so many events, I have to drive around all of South Jersey. So I won't be doing any driving until Saturday, but it's expensive, man. It's expensive to gas up now. So hopefully the Iranians and the peace deal goes through, the Strait of Hormuz opens up, and the gas prices go at least under, I'm hoping it goes back to under 4. But it's rough. Indie Phantom, I think my car is parked 90% of the week. Good time to be parking. I remember back during a previous gas crisis. I forget who was president. I guess it must have been Bush. My cousin had just bought a brand new truck, and it was a gas guzzler. And then, I guess it was the Iraq war hit, and gas shot up. I think it shot up then, too. Only then it went from like $1 to $2. And, yeah, he wasn't happy. He got rid of his truck. He said, I can't drive this truck anymore. Rotten Tomatoes just changed its rating system again. I don't care. It's owned by a movie studio. I forget which one. I want to say Warner Brothers. That to me makes it completely unreliable. Indie Phantom, my car also not in great shape. I feel you. Rotten Tomatoes is owned by Fandango Media, which operates a joint venture between Versant Capital Management and Warner Brothers Discovery. Yeah, I thought it was Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers owns 25% of the parent company that Rotten Tomatoes is owned by, which is weird because they don't seem to be particularly biased towards Warner Brothers, but I still wouldn't trust it. I still just don't trust it. Gary Sinise, Joe Mantegna lead National Memorial Day concert. I didn't know Joe Mantegna did music, but I guess he does. I do. Gary Sinise did. Quentin Tarantino's Django and Zorro crossover movie in the works. That'll be fun. That'll be a fun movie if it works. Eric July's Rippaverse widens reach with latest announcement. So they got a deal with a book distributor called Hachette, I guess. So they seem to be moving up in the world. Again, I'm not a huge fan of their comics. You know, the ones I looked at, one of them out of 3 was pretty good because Chuck Dixon wrote it, but I don't know. I don't see I don't see the big, project in Rippaverse. I just see a bunch of characters. And there were a lot of comic book companies like that. Doesn't mean you can't sell them and make a movie. People have made movies on obscure comic book characters, but I don't know. He might be able to build up the company enough to just sell the whole damn thing off. Sounds like he's making moves, at least. So I don't begrudge it. I don't know why some of the comic book guys just hate him. I don't know why. I think it's jealousy, I guess. Spencer Pratt posts CNN segment comparing his campaign to Donald Trump's. He has all the makings. I've been following the Spencer Pratt campaign, and this is for Los Angeles. Indie Phantom. Tarantino, notorious for canceled projects. That's true. Spencer Pratt has got some really good videos. He's really going hard in the paint to win the mayor of Los Angeles race. Or is it the governor's race? No, it's the mayor of Los Angeles. I think he can win, except for the fact that everybody in California is a different shade of Democrat. Indie Phantom. Rippaverse is a stupid name, in my opinion. Never thought his stuff looked good. Yeah, it's not great, but and that's part of the problem with it. It's like, meh, it's okay. The Chuck Dixon one was good, solid, but it's not the way you build the universe. What you do is you launch an anthology comic and you publish it and publish it and publish it, and then you keep putting different characters in until one of those characters is a huge hit. And you'll know it. You have to stumble upon the phenomenon, right? Like a Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure that when Spider-Man came out, it was such a hit, and they were getting so many letters about him that they were like, okay, that's the one. That's what you do. Indie Phantom. LA is kind of prone to fail. I know. He is going up in the polls. His commercials are amazing. He's doing well in the debates, but I kind of don't believe that the Democratic machine in LA will let him win. The only way I could see them letting him win is they're gonna say, okay, he's too popular. We're not gonna cheat enough to cancel him. It'll look too obvious, so we're gonna let him win, but then we're just gonna stymie him once he gets into office. Because just like, the state government, typically the city government works like a mini version of the federal government. So the mayor's the president, and then there's 2 bodies, legislative bodies that bicker, and they're like the Congress, and then there are also some judges involved. So those are the 3 branches of government locally, but they're way more corrupt because nobody really pays attention to them, and they investigate themselves typically. Indie Phantom, his stuff I don't think is in our stores. Nor would it be. Although now with this distribution deal, he may get distribution in stores. possibly bookstores or wherever Hachette has distribution channels. We shall see. Kevin Bacon was attacked by a swarm of bees on a hike with his daughter. So that happened this week. Oh, here we go. The best 11 movies to watch on Mother's Day. Mother's Day. Starring Kate Hudson and excuse me, Jennifer Aniston. Are they in that movie? No, they're not in that movie, are they? It was the last film by Gary Marshall. And it's now on Netflix, Paramount Plus, YouTube, and Tubi. I don't remember that one. Indie Phantom, Bees Love Bacon. Freaky Friday, that's the original, well, not the original one, but the more recent original one. The mother and daughter, okay. Family Stone, that sounds boring. None of these sound good so far. Because I Said So, that sounds bad. Diane Keaton. Bad Moms, I saw this, it wasn't too bad. Or at least I saw part of it. Did I see the whole thing? Because, like, the moms get drunk, and Catherine Hahn is funny. Instant Family, never heard of that one. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, heard nothing but bad things about this movie from everybody but the trades. Everybody who saw this movie told me it was terrible, because sometimes I talk about movies. Crazy, right? And sometimes I say, oh, I think I got to watch that Everything, Everywhere, All at Once movie. And almost everybody who saw it would stop me and go, no, don't see it. So apparently it's terrible. Mamma Mia. Oh, God, I don't want to see that. That sounds awful. Brave. I saw Brave. It's all right. It's pretty good. The mother gets turned into a bear, right? The Princess Diaries. Yeah, I'm not going to see that, but there's Anne Hathaway again. Karina. Ray Liotta? Nah, I don't think I'm going to see that. Unless Ray Liotta's shooting a dude in the face over a pound of coke, I don't think I'll probably like it. All right, moving on to Cosmic Book News. Mortal Kombat 2 box office falls below early estimates after Saturday drop. But again, that could be Mother's Day, so maybe it'll come back. So here's the rumor: James Gunn is staying on at DC. I find that hard to believe. Spider-Man and Hulk team up for Kevin Smith's Fire and Brimstone comic series. No thanks. Indie Phantom, bad flicks. Yeah, it did sound great. John Bernthal says Punisher Special will be the darkest version yet. Different than Spider-Man. Okay, yeah, it should be. I don't know why it's not 2 hours long and why you're not putting it in theaters. It's only an hour long and it's going to be on Disney Plus. You literally only have to shoot about another 25 minutes and you have a feature that would probably burn the box office to the ground. Punisher is a popular character. Why won't you let him be popular? It's crazy to me, but that's Disney in a nutshell. Yeah, so here are some of the other casting decisions. So here's, I don't know if this is from the movie, but it's Elliot Page as Achilles, and this woman, I can't pronounce her name, as Helen of Troy. So I think that screams this is going to be a DEI movie, the Odysee. So there's Jacob Elordi. He's in the James Bond race. He's very tall. He's like 6'2", I think. He would be the tallest Bond and the youngest. I think he's probably too young for Bond. I mean, he wouldn't be bad at it, and they could always age him. But I forget who. I think it was the Critical Drinker was talking about this in his group chat, and the group was saying that in the novels, Bond starts as 37. He's already commander. So, Indie Phantom, no thanks to the Kevin Smith flick. Guy is stoned, woke, and vegan now. He also cries a lot. Yeah, I agree. The Penguin Season 2 in development. WGA points to HBO return. I really don't want to see a second season of this. Stop doing not Batman shows. Do a Batman show. You'll be printing money all day long. How is this so hard that these guys can't do a Batman show? The Batman show, it would burn down HBO Max. HBO Max would instantly become the most popular platform in the history of streaming platforms if you did a Batman TV show with the quality of the Penguin. It would be gangbusters. That would convince me, if I didn't already have HBO for free, I would absolutely buy it to watch the Batman show if Matt Reeves is doing it and Robert Pattinson's in the lead. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't you do that? Pattinson wants to do the damn movies. Just drive the money truck to his house and do it. The first movie's really solid. It shows a clear understanding of the character and the setting. It's a great take on the Riddler. Why wouldn't you just go forward with a series? Do 10 episodes a year and then do a movie at the end of the year. You wouldn't be able to... You have to buy a new house for the extra money. Drives you nuts. Another not Batman show. Oh, we're coming out with Clayface. Oh, is Batman in it? No. Duh. No Batman. It's Clayface. Oh, okay. Will you be making any Batman things? Yes, we're doing a new season of The Penguin. Is Batman in it? No. They talk about Batman, but Batman's not in it. God. It's insufferable. All right, Geeks and Gamers. Judith Light confirmed in The Punisher One Last Kill playing Manuki, I guess. Again, add 20 minutes to the damn thing and you got a feature. Why wouldn't you do that? It's like they don't want their own characters to succeed. It's like they know, no, we can't make this 90 minutes because then we'll have to give it a theatrical release and it'll be a big hit. And we don't want that. What we want is for a female version of the character to be the popular character. Or what we want is something stupid and woke to be popular. No, we can't do the Punisher. Everybody will like that. All the chuds will come out for the Punisher. We don't want their money. We only want good people's money. It's just unreal. Maybe they'll start doing not Punisher movies soon. Let's see. Disney ABC claims FCC probe threatens free speech as The View faces scrutiny over equal time rules. So now they're going after The View because they have so many Democratic operatives on. It essentially amounts to free political advertising. And so they want equal time for the Republicans. Or, here's a thought, stop doing politics on The View. The View. But I don't know. Are The View's ratings so hot that they can... let me ask the AI. I bet the AI knows. Compare the ratings of The View from the time period before they talked about politics and then after. Let's see. Let's see what the AI says. Does not provide specific viewership for audience data comparing the View before and after its increased focus on politics. All right. I would guess, though, that the View does much better now than it did when it originally launched in 97. But then again, more people watched TV in 97, so maybe not. Maybe you couldn't prove it either way. Oh, and we got to talk about Stephen Colbert again. So Stephen Colbert is leaving this month, his last show. Everybody who hosts a talk show is going to be on this show, right? So it's going to be Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, John Oliver, who's left, Seth Meyers, and it's just like, could this be more of a incestuous relationship on TV? Like, so now you've got late night talk show hosts interviewing each other. Even as the show goes down, they're still trying to support it. It's crazy. What's the last episode going to be? Colbert interviewing himself? I wouldn't be surprised. But also, he, of course, is kind of not talking about the Lord of the Rings future debacle that he's moving on to. But we'll see. We'll see if it's a future debacle. I think it will be. Over at Breitbart, Kurdish leader Trump, master of the deal, can reach an Iran deal, create worldwide economic boom. I love it. It would be the golden age. Iran responds to U.S. peace proposal as drones hit Gulf. Please don't screw this up, Iranians. We'll see. Latest war developments. Indie Phantom, no Jon Stewart? That sounds very cringe. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Stewart's not on this list. Maybe he is. They just didn't list him. Iran sends a response. Iran warns UK, France over warships, drone attacks. Iran's pressure card. Israel PM says war not over. Trump says military defeated. Israeli forces operated from Iraq. Paramedics killed. Unidentified aircraft hit ship. Iran threatens U.S. sites. Rubio meets Qatari leader. Oh my God. What a mess. Can we wrap this week? Can we get the prices of gas down to under 3? Or under 4 at least? Under 3 would be amazing. New York Post, not playing around. Oh no, did he bomb it again? Trump responds with warning after Iran refuses to discuss the nuclear program and latest peace officer. They will be laughing no longer. I may have to go to gas up tonight. I may go right out of here and gas up. Because if he bombs something again, it's all going to go up again. Let's see. Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, and other Dems push DNC to release its 2024 postmortem. Yeah, I could tell you what your postmortem is. You suck. You suck. You have no policies that anybody cares about. You're stuck on transgenderism, climate change. These are all dead issues. You should not be focusing on. You should be. They're apparently going to try to focus on affordability, but you guys suck at economics. Like, that's the worst thing Democrats are good at. If anything, they're really not good at anything anymore. They used to be good at supporting the unions, but now they're not even good at that. The unions have pretty much left them behind. You're gonna talk about affordability. You can't give enough stuff away to make that work, in my opinion. Trump rages NFL gouging fans with new push to move games to Netflix, Amazon, killing the golden goose. I think that's mostly true, but most fans I know will make the move. They're going to buy it. They'll pay it. They'll keep paying. until the NFL thinks of a new way to sink them. But they're going to lose a lot of viewers. There'll be just be some viewers who don't are like me. They're always broke, so they're not going to blow $20 a month just to watch a football game they used to watch for free. So they'll just say, "Oh, I'll watch it at my friend's house, or I'll pirate it, or whatever." I wouldn't do that, but other people, and yeah, they'll start their process of losing money, I think. Sports, more on the hantavirus. Billionaire's Bucks owner blackmailed after sexy fling with Chinese divorcee who demanded half his fortune. Jesus, these honeypots are getting deeper and deeper. Savannah Guthrie posts touching Mother's Day tribute as mom Nancy remains missing. Very sad. The number of steps you need to walk a day to maintain weight loss. No, it's not 10,000. Place your bets. I will say it's less than that. At least for this article. I'll say it's 2,000. Uh, 8,500. 8,500. So get walking, everybody. Here's Blake Lively looking hot in this outfit. Holy cow. University grad stun as donor pays off student debts in commencement speech. Wow, that's nice of you. That must have been meant a lot to the students, I imagine. How Mean Girl Blake Lively is masterminding Hollywood comeback after settling lawsuit with Justin Baldoni. Good luck. We must stop suicidal empathy from destroying the U.S., says Dr. Gad Sad. I'll have to read this article later. Yeah, he just wrote a book on that. Okay, more on NYC falling to pieces. More on Vivek Ramaswamy running for governor of Ohio. They rescued a woman off a skyscraper for some reason in New York. Senator Fetterman, in his shorts, admits to being lonely as moderate Dem willing to break party ranks. Yeah, well, you won't be lonely for long because I think they're going to drive you right out of the party. Let's see. The Met Gala was a disaster. I know. I talked about that a few days ago. The outfits there were crazy. I survived 2 botched boob jobs. Here's why I have no regrets. Because your boobs are good now? Indie Phantom, The Rock champions male skirts. I saw that as well. Heidi Klum looked like a statue. Rachel Zegler had like a blindfold on. Ooh, those are bad boobs. Those are better. So final corrective surgery on the boobs. Indie Phantom, I like Fetterman these days. Yeah, he seems pretty reasonable. You could at least talk to the guy. Yeah, those look like they're as hard as baseballs. My God. Yeah, the first pair. Those are a little smaller, but they look better. You probably had to stretch them out, stretch out the skin a little more before you had those big ones put in. More sports. Putin suggests the war in Ukraine's coming to an end. That would be a huge W. Oops. Tom Brady praises ex. Okay. Guess he has to do that. Police rescue unlucky skunk stuck in a cup. Aww. Indie Phantom, Rachel Zegler was nuts, but I found her outfit kind of hot otherwise. Yeah, there was a bunch of wacky things. Violent men are ganging together to promote attacks on the women who reject them. Oh my god, that doesn't seem good. What the hell? I think that is probably a YouTube trend that's somehow blown out of proportion, but who knows? NASA engineer undergoes groundbreaking double lung transplant and now she's cancer free. Oh my god! That's a crazy operation. And I think we're at the end here. Owners who want to demolish home where Marilyn Monroe died got smacked down by a judge. Why? It kind of looks like a wreck. Oh, here we go. Land on this one. Adorable baby seal lion rescued near Bay Area by off-duty cop. There he is. These are really the dogs of the sea. So they're very friendly, but you shouldn't approach them, obviously. They'll bite you because they don't know what they're doing. But they are kind of fun. Huh. He's happy to be in a pool. Be kind of great to have a pet sea lion if you lived, on the water and you wanted to spend all that time training him, I guess. There he is. Poor guy. He was lost. He don't belong on the freeway. He belongs in a pool. All right. What time is it? 10:15. I got to wrap this up. So what have we learned today? We learned the Met Gala was nuts, of course. It's nuts every year. Seals are cute, says Indie Phantom. Yes. We learned the box office was mixed bag. Alex Ogle is here. Here he is. Alex, you're so late. Evening, bigots. The stream seems to be going on late. I'm nearly finished reading Heinlein's The Past through tomorrow. If only more sci-fi was worthy of Heinlein. Yeah, these days there's a lot. We were talking about Romancy earlier, and how Tor has imprints now of Romancy because it makes them a lot of money, I assume, because it's very popular. And in fact, they're opening books dedicated to Romancy, which is a combination of romance, fantasy, and often a lot of smut. So, very sad. However, the box office was not a complete disaster. There was actually a few movies on there that kind of looked okay. But Mortal Kombat didn't do well. Probably because it's being released on Mother's Day weekend, and it'd be really tough to convince a mom to go see Mortal Kombat 2, which is probably why The Devil Wears Prada 2 beat it, even though it opened last week. Indie Phantom, we learned that Colbert is going out with Max Cringe. Hi, Alex, says Indie Phantom. Yes, Max Cringe indeed. And he's going to move on to ruin, I assume, Lord of the Rings. Alex Ogle. Ha! Women's literature has always been porn. They just have redured their vocabulary of late. Probably, yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair to say it's female porn. Romancy is female porn. It's very smutty. And in fact, the women asking for those recommendations online, because I see them all the time, because I search for book recs on X, the word book recs, in order to find people looking for book recs so I can recommend the Pineys. And yeah, they're often asking for more smut or a certain level of smut. Oh, reduced. They have just reduced their vocabulary of late. Oh, I thought I was learning a new word called redured. I was going to look it up after the stream, but now I don't have to. We also learned that my entire week got blown up thanks to forces beyond my control, but that's okay. I'll be back next week with other stuff. Indie Phantom. Lord of the Rings have been ruined lately anyway. Yeah, I'm not super psyched for the Gollum movie. I think it's probably a pointless addendum at this point. The meat of it has been done. If you wanted to do Lord of the Rings with the hunt for Gollum, you should have started. They should have started in order. They should have done The Hobbit first, and they should have done only one movie, maybe two. You might have been able to split The Hobbit into two movies, and then you could have done the Lord of the Rings, however many movies you wanted. You probably could have done 4 movies with the Lord of the Rings. You probably could have done Hobbit 1, Hobbit 2, and end with Lord of the Rings number 1. Then go Lord of the Rings 2, Lord of the Rings 3 with Tom Bombadil, and Lord of the Rings 4 if you kept it down to like 90 minutes. Alex Ogle, I hope you have a busy week ahead, Tony and Indie Phantom. I hope little Joan has plenty of something stand-up sets planned. Oh, racist. No, she's not doing that anymore. She's turned over a new leaf. Now she only complains about people who don't feed her enough, which is usually me. And yeah. All is well in the Tony D home, and so it's all coming together. It's all coming together this week. Very busy, working on the new Pineys book, and working on all the other stuff I do. I did a little short film on my channel for the Pineys. If you haven't seen it, you could check it out. Next week, I will be at I Heart Horror on Saturday from 10 to 4. That's in Sayreville, New Jersey at the VFW Hall. On Sunday, I'll be at the LBI Book Swap, the one I should have done on Saturday. Hopefully not rained out, from 10 to 4. And then on Monday, I'll be at Crestwood Manor at 2 p.m. for my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. So the live stream will be going on probably on time. I may be a little late on Sunday, but we shall see. I want to thank you all for tuning in, especially Indie Phantom, who kept me company through most of this, and Clint Miller and Joe Meir Hobbs and Alex Ogle. We'll be back next week, and check out the channel for more videos as always, and we'll see you in the next one.